Ready then?
I guess
Let's do a Star Trek.
Let's do a Star Trek. Oh, we should do a Star Trek rap.
No.
Wow.
Or Star Trek rap dance sort of thing. Do the Star Trek. Like do the Bartman, but do the Star Trek.
Oh, boy,
I was thinking of do the Mario.
Do the Mario. Another do the
laundry
song. There's a whole category of songs, isn't it? The do this.
Yeah. Then there was also
the twist.
Do the Cool Whip.
Do the cool whip.
The
cool
curly
whip.
shuffle.
Yeah. A lot of do this. Do the monster mash. The monster mash. We did that joke recently on the show.
Did we?
We did a
monster mash joke?
We did.
Good for us.
Because MASH came up. Ames complained about it. And then I said, well, if we can't do regular MASH.
That definitely tracks.
Okay, anyway.
It wasn't Batman.
Anyway, let's get back to the show.
David Ogden Stiers was in both, and he's probably going to come up in today's activity.
Oh, good. Today's activity.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you have to talk about the activity? I was hoping she'd forget.
Everybody, and welcome back to A Star to Steer Her By.
Where have you been?
If you're just joining us this week, we're talking about 2 episodes of Star Trek Voyager, In the Flesh and Once Upon a Time. Now that we've finished talking about In the Flesh, we'll talk about Once Upon a Time.
Wait a minute.
What just happened?
Oh, this is the beginning of the episode. Shit. Thought we were filming out of order here. Okay,
What's your name? What's your name? God damn it.
My name is Boothby.
Good.
And joining me today are...
Boothby.
Oh, I was going to be the other one. Valerie Archer.
And Boothby.
Good. I get to be the different one.
Yay. In the Flesh. That's what we're talking about. So, as suggested by our names this week, we are on Earth. Evidently, and we're at Starfleet Academy, and we see our old friend Boothby, who you may remember from The First Duty, in which he had his first duty, and now everyone has a duty for the first time, because they're not actually humans.
What?
And imagine that surprise after their genetic makeover. What the fuck?
I feel like we made the same joke about Odo when he was actually made into a solid.
And Q when he became human.
And he had to make his own solids.
And actually, 7 of 9 when she was de-assimilated. Every time somebody becomes human, we're just like, man, the first time they shit, they must have been perplexed.
That is the biggest surprise, I think, for people that are not used to being
the
humans.
Messiest.
So yeah, we are on Earth, or what seems like Earth. Chakotay's there, and he's tooling around, taking photos of stuff. He meets Boothby.
Laying down the pipe.
Laying pipe all around town. He meets Boothby.
Well, to make a bath, you need to have pipe.
He goes to the bar, evidently, and meets a pretty lady. That's Valerie Archer. And then
she gives him the swizzle.
Yeah, she's just about to do the twist. And then Tuvok walks in and the nun, and throws some water on this whole affair.
Vulcan cock block.
And it's like, well, we have to return to duty now.
First duty.
But Tuvok, I made a date.
So, turns out that this isn't Earth after all.
What?
Exactly. No, in fact, this is like some weird habitat. As they're leaving, though, they manage to capture one of the fake Starfleet people, bring him back to the ship, and they're kind of interrogating him, but he freaks the fuck out, because he's like, no, I'm human, I'm definitely human, I'm definitely not an alien, and then he kills himself with like a neuro thing.
Which was actually like very Starfleet of him, because anytime someone's captured or like trying to be a dick, they just like say their name and rank over and over again.
Yeah.
So actually they nailed that part.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
They're more Starfleet than Starfleet.
So they do
not
some.
Hard to do
so they're like, well, he's definitely not human because I had to do his microcellular scan. The doctor says, and then he's like, but I can turn him back into whatever he was before with his little hoodly doo. So he jacks him up full of that, the body of the dead man, and then he transforms before our eyes into species 8472309.
Aye.
Yeah, and so Janeway is immediately perturbed about this, and 7 of 9 is like, well, we gotta kill the fuck out of him. Let's get some nanoprobes up in this bitch. So that's what they do. They start working on the plan to kill him. In the meantime, Chakotay's like, well, I could help with the annihilation thing, but there's a chance I could get late tonight, so maybe I go beam back over there and do some more in-depth reconnaissance.
No.
So Janeway's like, all right, fine, you do you, Chakotay.
No, you do her.
Right. So he beams back over, and
It is a species 8472, Chakotay.
Right.
Yeah, but he's pulling a Tony Shalhoub in Galaxy
Yes!
Quest and being very into it.
Okay, that I'm okay with.
I mean, here's the thing. In Galaxy Quest, they're holograms. In this, they have actually, like, shape-shifted.
That's true.
They're even breathing air.
Oh, that's not right. Yeah, so Chakotay makes his date with the lady. They go on they do like space bowling. They went to the Pon Far night, which to me just sounds like it was probably like a wrestling match or boxing or something violent.
And it wasn't at like the Vulcan disco or something. It like or the Vulcan dance club
Something.
or
Yeah.
something that Vulcans shouldn't
Clearly,
have.
It's the one thing they didn't get right.
Yeah, their
I'm really hoping, yeah.
Their
They got-
research is not so
They
hot.
got Boothby perfect, and yet they're like, Vulcans would totally have a Pon Far night at their discos, right?
I mean, it's
Vulcans have
Here's
discos,
the thing,
right?
it's probably run by Vulcans, but it's like owned by Vulcans, but only humans go there, and they only go there to fuck.
Okay.
That's my guess.
And hopefully the Vulcans are taking lots of pictures as blackmail.
Yeah,
as
that's
look at these racist
that's the
motherfuckers and
sinister
what they think
plot.
about us.
It's
And-
only logical.
So anywho, they go back to her place, and she's dropping hints, and he's not really picking them up too easily. It's been a while, of course, for Chakotay. So he's about to leave, and she's like, well, don't you kiss a girl goodnight? And he's like, well, sure. So he lays one on her, and then he goes to leave, and then she's like, ha ha ha, I stole some of his DNA after all. Which
Oh no, she put a hand on the pants.
and she realizes, oh shit, he's human. And she calls up her old buddy Boothby, and she's like, yep, he's human. You were right. I was wrong. I shouldn't have let him in. And then they capture Chakotay.
Was he a vampire?
They do the old Truman Show thing where they turn the daylights on and capture him. And then
That was a good look.
they're interrogating him, and they're like, we know your Federation is planning an invasion of our galaxy. And Chakotay's like, we don't fucking care about you bozos. Are you kidding me? So they go back to Voyager, and they have a little Kittimer Accord. They have a little diplomacy, and Janeway successfully manages to get everybody happy, and we become friends now with Species 847-2. We exchange
Flowers.
phone numbers,
technology, bodily fluids.
Chakotay's dick pics.
Yeah.
Still don't know their name.
Nope. They probably
They're like,
don't-
we know your species 8472, and they don't correct them.
Yeah.
So they're like, fine, that's our name now, sure.
Well, in their language, that's close to what it actually is.
Well, see, actually, there's that moment where Chakotay's like, so what's your real name anyway? Or, oh no, he calls her Valerie Archer?
Yeah.
She's like, that's not even my real name. Well, what is your name? And then she doesn't say anything. It's like, because
Yeah.
she's going, oh, he couldn't pronounce it anyway.
Yeah, it should be a series of slurping sounds.
Well, we could have another Galaxy Quest reference.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
I think-
loud.
I
Why
think-
did we turn the gain up?
I think we even said, Kate and I, like, that's what their name is. It's a
It's-
Thermian noise.
It's the sound from that what's her name makes in Splash.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That horrible nail on
Screeching
chalkboard
dolphin
sound that she
thing.
makes.
Chakotay was so excited to try to get with Archer just because, like, since they're from a different, like, universe, basically, or something, he'd probably be the first human to screw an alien that wasn't seeded by the potato people from the chase.
There
Oh,
you
that's
go.
right. Yeah, they wouldn't be because they're from fluidic space.
Yeah, like, he'd be like, he's going somewhere even Kirk hasn't gone.
What about Harry Kim being like, I really want to bang an alien?
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird.
I always thought it would be fun to.
Well, he almost banged the, what were they, Turellians?
Yeah, the ones.
But then he got scared and ran away.
Well, he didn't actually. There was no P and V, but at least one of them gave him a handy J, and I feel like that should count for something.
I guess I could totally see, though, that's especially among younger members of Starfleet, it's just a thing, you know? Like, it's all played up, and they're just like, yeah.
It's probably in all the recruitment material for Starfleet.
Probably, yeah. Or any pricks.
What, to bang aliens or to not bang aliens?
To bang aliens.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'm sure they're told to be careful, and officially they're
Yeah.
just like, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, like, it's on the official documents, but when you, like, go to the recruiting station, the fucking jackass behind the desk is like, and you know, alien strange.
Gross.
Klingons got 2 buttholes.
Neat. I don't think you guys are at this point in your Battlestar watch.
No, we are not.
I think it's literally the episode after the one you appeared on Carl's podcast for. Here's a plug for Carl's podcast. It's a lot of fun. It's called Battlespace 9. It's comparing Deep Space Nine and Battlestar Galactica. Here's your Battlestar Galactica connection. The woman who plays Valerie Archer, whose human name I didn't write down like a fool. We're gonna see so much of her on Battlestar.
Oh, I think I saw that, yeah. Because I looked her up because she was familiar, but turns out, no, she wasn't. I've not seen anything else she's in.
Yeah, she plays Colonel Ty's estranged wife.
Oh.
I mean, strange wife.
Spoilers.
I mean, it's not that.
Yeah, no, if he has a wife, she is clearly estranged because he is an asshole.
I adore Ty.
But she is
fuck y'all.
she is lovely. She is a piece of work.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. He's a great character to watch, but, like, because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah, so you should keep watching Battlestar though, so you can you can meet Ellen Ty.
Oh yeah, she is a lot and gets very fun. And the actress I think is great. She's younger here, so I'm like, oh yeah, Ellen Ty, get it.
Mm.
Boothby, playing an alien again who's disguised as a human.
Yeah, Boothby. Something I found quite interesting about Boothby is that even they never at any point drop the facade, even once they're found out, even when, at the very end when it's like, yeah, no, we're like friends now, we're at peace, but he's still just being Boothby about it.
Yeah, like his style of speech doesn't change. When they're having their peace conference, he's still like, now you don't try to come on down to the farm and do Hickey the Bing Bong or whatever. And
now, young lady.
Yeah, all the little Boothby-isms were my favorite thing from this episode, and I liked him an awful lot. But it brings up the
Targ manure.
Yeah, that's
good.
right. I liked that.
I want to absorb that into my vernacular because it's so good. But it brings up the thing that makes I can't wrap my brain around this episode because they never establish how they know all this Starfleet information down to Boothby language quirks, and yet don't know anything about the Voyager. So where was this disconnect? Where did they get this info?
All I can figure, they suggested they maybe somehow got it from the Borg, and
well, yeah, because they would know a lot from Jean-Luc, because he definitely knew Boothby and he knew Starfleet.
Well, also the literally thousands of humans they
Boothby befriends all cadets.
I was so annoyed by that. I was like, Janeway's like, and he used to bring me fresh roses. And I'm like, what? Did he just fucking kiss every future captain's ass? Like this, how many of this guy are there? What is he, the fucking Santa Claus of Starfleet?
Well, okay, you want to know my tinfoil hat?
Give it
This
to
is
me.
my theory about Boothby.
He recognizes potential.
He's not real.
Yes.
He's a figment of their
Would
imagination.
you shut the fuck up? Boothby is an Elorian.
Okay, that's Guinan's
a Guinan.
They're natural listeners.
I think he's an Elorian because he's quite old, and it's kind of implied that he's been that old forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
I've had teachers like that.
Yeah.
And he's worked there for 50 years. He's known everybody from, Jean-Luc Picard to Captain Janeway. Somehow Chakotay didn't know him, so he doesn't befriend every cadet. But, a lot of people. So my theory on Boothby is he's an Elorian.
I like that idea.
I actually really like that.
And actually, I don't know, was he friends with Picard? He knew Picard, but I feel like when they were talking, Picard's Boothby was like, oh yeah, you were that marathon kid who was kind of a dick.
Either that, or he's a Gary 7.
Ugh.
Since we now know that they are
No,
a recurring thing.
Don't need more of them.
I prefer Elorian.
Unless they bring another Isis, the cat.
There we go.
More cat, less fucking
He's actually
strange
one
bullshit.
of the cat monsters. He turns into a sort of a. I picture kind of like a Maine Coon.
Okay.
Very grumpy looking Maine Coon.
I was hoping he'd be like a little ragdoll munchkin with cute little legs.
Little slipper feet.
Yeah.
No, because that's too adorable. You need
Fluffy
something.
pants.
You need something that's kind of grumpy.
You're right, it has to be kind of gnarled looking. Maybe one of those werewolf cats.
A palace cat.
Oh my god,
They're
palace cats
so
are so
cute.
mad. Do you know they weigh 5 pounds? They're
all
mostly
fur?
floof, yeah.
Wow.
Which is wild.
They're so cute.
I don't know if they're literally 5 pounds, but they don't weigh much more than a normal house cat, which is surprising because they look massive.
Yet they survive in the Himalayas.
Yep.
Wild.
But yes, Boothby, I like that idea. But yeah, I like the idea that they've all gotten so into character that they can't even shake it when they could. But it's a decent tactic. It probably helps, you know. It's like, all right, yeah, they know who we are, but we're not going to turn back into our weird space monsters. It's easier to communicate with them this way, first of all.
I think the communication was probably like the driving factor for why to stay, at least in the forms, if not continuing to pretend to be Admiral Bullock and shit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the real world explanation is it's way cheaper to just have Ray Watson?
I think Walston.
Yeah, Ray Walston just stay as Ray Walston and not whip out the CG space monster.
Well,
but I think there's good in-world explanations.
I just think that, I don't know, they're just so deep undercover that they're not going to shake it. But
it looked painful reverting, so...
Yeah, it did not look fun. That poor guy in the bar.
Well, that might have been just because he was bad at holding it.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, I felt like those effects were pretty good, too.
I agree.
I thought a lot of the effects, even the transformation when the
sick bay?
The dead guy turned back into 847, he was good
for the time and budget. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, considering I said like, oh boy, here it comes. Oh, it's not bad. Okay, I'll allow this for 1998.
Yeah.
Well, especially considering, as we always say, what is it, Hoodwinked? Wasn't a terrible movie that came out in 2004 or something, and it looked terrible?
Oh, it looked so much worse than multiple films that had already come out by that point.
So a few weeks ago, we watched
Alien.
Yes. No, the one with the guy, Ray Wise. What the fuck was that episode called?
Oh,
Hope and Fear.
Hope and Fear. Yeah, so a few weeks ago we watched Hope and Fear, and this episode I feel like has a connection to that in that this is another example where Voyager's interference, particularly with the Borg, has led to potential dire consequences. Like, if Boothby isn't able to convince the rest of Species 8... Because he said that there were, like, dozens of other installations like this where they're practicing how to infiltrate Starfleet. So
there's dozens of Boothbys.
Yeah. So I find it... So, like, if he fails and doesn't convince the rest of 8472 that Starfleet's no threat, then, shit ain't gonna go too hot for...
Yeah, because no one else in the Federation knows that Borg nanoprobes are the answer to getting rid of them.
Here's this, right?
Tell me.
So, I think it was Valerie or somebody was like, yep, within a few days, we're going to be on Earth doing this for real, when she's talking to Chakotay.
Yeah.
Which suggests to me that Species 8472 has a way to get to Earth.
Mm-hmm. Can they just travel through fluidic space?
Maybe.
Is that like a warp area?
When we're doing this technology or, friendship exchange thing, why isn't Janeway like, okay, we'll give you the nanoprobe torpedoes, so now you cannot be defeated. That's a great fucking strategic idea, Janeway, but whatever.
Well, it was very end of the Cold War, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't exactly give anybody our nuclear secrets or anything.
Not on purpose, anyway.
So, anyway...
didn't they do a you show us yours, we show you ours kind of thing?
I mean, probably.
That's all. I literally read just that from the where did this episode come from?
To some extent, but I'm sure that, there's still a ton of shit that's classified.
Well, if Tom Paris was here, he would know the answer, since he once again seems to be a fucking expert on all times in Earth history.
But yeah, it seems weird to me that Janeway wouldn't have negotiated passage through fluidic space or whatever.
That I could see that being a place where they really draw the line still, though. Like, look, we're friends now, but stay the fuck out of our space. This does seem to answer at least some of our questions, though. In that, because we were kind of like, so wait, were they maybe gonna just fuck with everyone after they dealt with the Borg? But it sounds like, no, they really just didn't like the Borg. And also, they do seem to probably actually be individuals, as opposed to... Because we had suggested, and I rather this was your idea, Jake, and I quite liked it, that maybe fluidic space itself was an entity and just created individuals when it needed them to, deal with stuff, but it seems like there's probably always an individual aspect.
Well, I also kind of feel like this episode feels a little retconny on Species 8472 to begin with, because of, the whole we'll purge your galaxy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But also... I couldn't help but thinking in this episode that it just felt like a script that was written, or at least originally intended to be for Deep Space Nine, and then didn't end up getting made. They went a different direction with the changelings, and it just ended up, getting reworked into a Voyager episode.
I happen to know that is not true.
Oh.
Well,
I think Jake knows who the writer was because I said it yesterday. Written by Nick Sagan.
Carl Sagan's kid?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
He's written for Trek before, and this was one he did for In the Flesh. He's also going to be one of their main story editors for this season.
Huh.
So when his name come up again next episode, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't the one he did. Oh, I see why. But the original idea that he pitched, and then somehow they got this out of, when frankly, they could have just been their own episode too.
7 of 9 falls in a blender.
Basically.
Oh, God.
No, not at all. The original idea was that they would find a picture of species 8472 in some kind of relic from ancient Earth culture. So they realized, this is where some old Earth legends of demons and devils and shit came from. And species 8472 had contact with Earth, eons ago. And hooray. Which, I think this was better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to do a diplomacy about it, which is always a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely... we don't need another, Ancient Aliens bullshit.
But-
we've had enough of that nonsense.
but doesn't this just feel like
It does, yes.
the changelings practicing how to fit in on Earth?
I thought it was at first.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I was like, okay, what the fuck? What did I say? Because I made, a bunch of guesses. I think Changeling was the last thing I guessed.
Changeling was on your list, yeah.
But I was like, holodeck? Flashback?
Oh yeah,
What the fuck?
before you know it's a little practice settlement. You could very well think we're on Earth and what's the story going to be until they kind of tell you what's going on.
Yeah. We actually at one point it was they're like, we're going to infiltrate Starfleet, the highest levels. And I just pictured, say this plan had gone through. And then you cut to a high-end board meeting. And finally she's like, wait the fucking minute. You're a changeling. I'm species 8472. You're one of those bug monsters from Conspiracy we forgot. Is anyone here actually Starfleet?
Oh, I'm a Cardassian that had cosmetic surgery done.
Then
Or
Commodore O just sneaks out the door.
I was about to say, some guy raises his hand. I mean, technically yes, but I'm now a Romulan double agent.
Yeah. I was getting big. What was that two-parter that had Admiral Layton, that dick, and it was at Starfleet Academy?
Homefront in Paradise Lost.
That's the one, yeah, because it's at Starfleet Academy again. We have people infiltrating things again. There's an admiral who seems like a jerk.
Is that the one where, the Changeling is mocking Odo for, being shit at doing birds?
Yes, you're a shitty seagull. Here's a good seagull. Flap, flap.
Those birds will never believe you, bitch. You have to do it like this.
And then he poops on somebody.
Well, that is seagulls for you.
So, hey, Odo, have you even heard about the bird?
Oh, no. You did, so this, we had mentioned this in passing, but it is very much the most blatantly, Cold War metaphor episode, I think, since TOS.
Can't even really call it a metaphor. They made the subtext text
Yeah.
by having
Yeah, that's
Paris
true, yeah,
be
with
like,
the Russian...
well, in the 19 blah blah blahs, Russia and America. I was like, and literally Chris and I both were like, shut the fuck up, Tom.
Also, a much more recent example in their history is fucking Kittimer and that whole thing.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Hey, listen, don't
Wait.
expect the writers to know anything about the lore and the history, Jake.
Wait, what? How does that tie into Kittimer? I'm confused.
I'm just saying, in terms of detente and...
Oh, yeah, but this is before they've reached the top. This is when he's, But
this is when he's talking about the infiltration thing. Yeah.
I love felt like they need to explain that, though, to the audience. We get it. They're pretending to be huge. That's not that
Remember
weird.
that a lot of people are really stupid. It's important to keep that in mind.
But also, they did do that at Kittimer, too, right? Because...
Well, that was more... Well, no, because there was no brainwashing. I was going to say it's a Manchurian candidate thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were disguises and other things.
It's a rubber mask.
But yeah, very, very Cold War vibey. I did enjoy, though, again, they were like, let's try to diplomacy on this. Well, actually, I think it was pretty... Chakotay was like, let's diplomacy on this. Janeway was like, murder them. Wait, no, maybe diplomacy? Maybe diplomacy.
She was making sure they had the murder plan B ready to go. 7, do you have any more of those nanoprobes? And she's like, you've milked me for all the nanoprobes I've got. Well, make more 7. Find a way.
But even
That
then,
was uncomfortable.
Start pumping.
at one point, she is just, though, like, General Order 010, apparently opposite of General Order 24, of like, try to reach a peaceful solution first. It keeps hounding me. It's like, that shouldn't be hounding you. That should be your first thought. What is happening?
Maybe we can try to do first contact again, Chakotay.
It's
It's a mulligan. Mulligan first.
I'm surprised Tom Paris wasn't like, well, there was an ancient Earth man who said, walk softly and carry a big
I
stick.
was just thinking
You
that.
know?
Yep.
I really want, like, next time he tries to talk about the 20th century, I just want Harry to come up behind him with a shovel and bang him on the back of the head. But yes, again, appropriately, Chakotay kind of laying the groundwork.
Yeah, very
even if
appropriate.
unintentionally.
Is it weird that I really shipped him and Archer?
No.
They had a decent vibe.
He was, like, the smoothest he's been in a while.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally was sitting watching and I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, I like Chakotay. I really like Chakotay. Oh,
She's a horrifying monster, though.
Yeah, but she seems so nice. I loved how much she says it's uncomfortable sleeping because they're not used to sleeping or breathing or walking bipedally or fucking Chakotay all the time.
Or pooping.
Yep, definitely on the list. I thought that was cool. I thought to myself, oh no, what if they were trying to be Caitians and they had to sleep even more?
Oh.
Little kitties napping in the
But then they would
sunbeam.
get chin rubs and it would make it better.
Speaking of other species, though, that we see, they keep showing us a Ferengi.
They did.
There were a bunch of Ferengi.
Which, to me, makes me think that they either haven't really done their research very well, or they just have very, very recent intel. Because Nog is the first Ferengi to ever attend Starfleet. They wouldn't have a bunch of fucking Ferengi.
I kind of like the idea that, like, they're like 95% right, but there's a few things that miss the mark, like
the Ponfarinite.
the Ponfarinite, a bunch of Ferengi.
I kind of wanted to see more of, like, the little wrongnesses in the universe, because it seemed so believable until the Ponfar thing came up, and I was like, fucking no.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see what Ponfarnite looks like at the Vulcan
But you see,
Dance
here's the
Club.
thing. I guarantee that's a thing.
But it's a human thing.
But it's a human
The
thing.
the Vulcans are like, ugh.
It could. I could see that being a lower decks joke, you know?
I wasn't going to say it because I felt like I was going to will it into the world if I did, but that was my first thought. It's like, they're going to fucking do that next season, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I hope it's an episode about, like, misappropriation at the Vulcans.
It will
feel
not.
really bad about being dicks.
It will not be.
Well, it should be.
Yeah. But yeah, it would have been nice to maybe have just a few other little...
Incongruencies.
Yeah, little cracks in the facade, you know.
Because honestly, it's like, was the too many Ferengi thing intentionally like a crack, or were they just like, hey, we got a bunch of Ferengi heads lying around?
I just don't. I think it might have been the same one over and over again.
No, because I'm pretty sure there was like...
I know I saw two.
Yeah, because there was definitely...
One outside and one on
I kept seeing
inside.
the same one with a green.
Oh, see, there was definitely a
thing.
blue shirt one. I remember that. And then I think there was a red one.
No,
Maybe
I didn't see the red one.
It could also have been the same actor in different uniforms, just to like
That's
make
true.
it look like there were
It
more.
just seemed like because it stuck out so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have to make that actor go through lots of makeup for one thing. It's like it is very intentional.
Like, well, yeah, it was very intentional, and like nobody mentioned it. Like you would have thought that somebody would be like when Chakotay's like, oh yeah, they even got Vulcans and Ferengi. Somebody would be like, wait, Ferengi at Starfleet Academy? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I did like the, for lack of a better term, chase scene. When Chakotay, they switch the lights on, Chakotay starts walking faster, and then there's just more and more people speed walking behind him.
Yeah.
It's like, that is actually super threatening. Like, if I was there, I'd be like, they're not even trying to run, because they know I'm fucked.
Yeah, even the effect when it switches from night to day, I thought looked pretty good, and I was like, "Ooh, that's actually very creepy."
It's like there's this trick that they you don't see it much anymore, probably because the technology is better, where they would film night scenes during the day.
Oh, right.
And just use like a
filter.
neutral density filter or
Yeah,
something to make it look night. Like I remember there's a bunch of like sci-fi shows from the early 2000s that use that.
Yeah,
and
you complained about it every episode of the 4400.
The 4400 is the worst at doing it because every
real
night
bad
scene
at
it's
it.
like it is clear that they are in bright daylight. Like
There
it's
are
not even
shadows across their faces somehow.
It's funny you bring that up, because I was going to say, like, when they first had that scene, I was like, it is obviously day with a filter.
Yeah.
And then they did the switch. I'm like, that's why.
And it's like, okay, this is a time when that effect was used, and yeah, it was obvious that that's what they were doing, but it was also really cool when they did the reveal.
Yeah, the thing is, because it was a reveal, because it was so brief. Because I
Yeah.
remember, like, no, I never saw the 4400, but I remember when I was a kid, I watched way too much Nick at Night. And
No such thing.
So many sitcoms and TV shows from like the 1960s would pull that same thing, except the filter was even worse.
Right.
I don't think they used a filter. I think they just went in and kind of darkened it a little, but it's like, it is clearly like noon right now, and you're trying to convince me it's nearly midnight.
There was an episode of the 4400 where I remember where it was supposed to be like dead of night, and it's very clearly a bright sunny day, and they like added in post like. There were like lamp posts, so they like added like a fake glare coming off the lamp, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is painful."
I forget which one it was, but there was again some sitcom where it was like it was supposed to be night, but like I don't know if maybe the director hadn't gotten that note because not only was it like too bright, but like the street set was like pretty crowded. It's like this guy thought he was doing a midday shot, like plain and simple.
Or they changed it after the fact. It was
something,
like,
People coming home from Pon Far night.
But yeah, no, the switch was neat. It was just like, well,
yeah.
And then again, that like, there's something scarier about just a ton of people who are like, we don't need to rush. Than
there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, it's scarier than a couple of guys with big guns running after you because they're just like, we don't need to rush. It's like, oh. I am screwed.
Yeah, I mean that whole sequence felt very Truman show.
Yeah, that is very
like, just
true.
not just like the turning the lights on, but also like the people all just like walking around.
Time to break character for the sake of containment. When Neelix goes off with the Vulcan at the end, I'd love to see your perspective on Vulcans, and two Vulcans like, oh fuck, can we switch?
I liked that.
I don't want him coming back with more perspective. Oh god.
Yeah, because these people would be open about it.
Yeah, they would. They would.
Here's all of our research on Vulcan. Here's more different parties to throw for Tuvok.
Mr. Vulcan, I heard about this other holiday I'm going to try to do for you, but fuck up the recipe because I'm going to put my own spin on it.
Well, so here's the thing: the 8472 Vulcan is going to tell Neelix about Pon Far Night and how it's a big thing that Vulcans like.
No.
So then Neelix is going to throw a Pon Far Night on Voyager and invite Tuvok and Vorik, and it's going to be really uncomfortable.
Fuck that guy, man.
Problem is he only invites Tuvok and Vorik.
Right.
But Tom hears about it and crashes the party and then realizes it's just the four of them. And so they just end up like playing Monopoly.
Yeah, having a little boys' night. Well, I actually really liked there was a little boys' night with Tom and Harry and Chakotay on way to planet. And they're just chatting about dating aliens. And I thought, like, I'm sure that's not how people talk, but it was very cute.
What I would like to know, though, actually thinking on that, is I get that, you've assimilated so many people, so many Starfleet people, so yeah, maybe you can, like, pretty convincingly construct a Boothby personality trait and this and that and the other thing.
What do you mean assimilated people?
The Borg, sorry. Assuming they got their information from the Borg.
I don't understand how they would get their information from the Borg, though.
Yeah,
they killed the Borg.
Yeah.
They didn't... If they captured the Borg, I don't think the Borg can give them information.
They could have plugged into their computers. But the one thing that would seem to go against that is one of the things that would go against that idea as well, though, is just like, I don't care how many people you've assimilated. You did not assimilate someone who has the entire works of that poet there memorized. So
Maybe they have eidetic memories.
I wonder if they just like got the Voyager's database or something.
Then they know more about Voyager already.
That's true.
Yeah, they'd know that you're the only one in the quadrant, and you're not lying when you say
Well,
maybe
they just went to Earth and did a little recon or something.
Maybe one of their many crashed and or exploded shuttles. They got data from that, but it didn't have Voyager specific data.
Right. Well,
all of that was corroded in the crash.
Or okay, this one maybe actually they seem to be able to somehow get to Earth very quickly. They sent, like, one scout out as a civilian to, like, buy a Kindle, or whatever a Kindle is in the 24th century, and come back with it. It's like, here's a bunch of history books, here's a bunch of literature. I don't know, I took a tour and met Boothby.
Right.
But they hadn't done the full-on... Because if they're being clever about it, they'll maybe do some basic scouting before setting up the habitats and all this.
True. Yeah.
I will say, like, I really actually did quite like the episode, like the interactions, all that, but I guess I am a little sad that in a way they've made Species 8472 more comprehensible.
True. And very quickly.
Yeah, like, so much of this is just a perfectly reasonable, normal procedure and tactic, It's like, learn about your enemies, try to find a way to infiltrate them, this and that. Like, previously they were just this weird, alternate reality, maybe pocket dimension thing. And again, we had questions like, are they even, what's this, what's that? And now it's like, oh, they're another species now, which is kind of a bummer.
And like, again, I feel like it's not super true to what we have seen of Species 8472. Not just like the incident with the Borgs, but also the incident with the Hirogen, right? Like,
yeah.
That Species 8472 was also like a monster, so...
But you can reason with him, though, because he's just like, I just want to get fucking home, man. And they were like, all right, shit.
Yeah.
But then everything went awry because of Hirogen and 7 of 9 and things. But
Speaking of 7 of 9, quick note, this is the debut of her new blue jumpsuit.
Okay, I was going to say, is this the first time we saw this?
Yes, it is. It's very blue.
It's very blue.
So it looks great on her, but once again, it looks like she just can't breathe.
It does look better for her, probably, than the one before it. Like, I noticed at the corset didn't seem quite as constricting.
See, it's funny, because of the color on this one, I feel like, I don't know if it seems more or less constricting, but I noticed the ribbing more than on its previous one.
It's funny, because I was looking for it, and I saw it less.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, too. I was like,
it seemed to
there's quite as much boning in there.
It stood out to me more, again, but I think it's more just a result of the color than anything else.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks a little better. Not much, like, it's still terrible. I wish she'd have a fucking Starfleet uniform, because she looks fucking smoking when she wears the Starfleet uniform.
Just put her in civilian clothes.
Let Neelix dress her in his random rags. It'll be fine.
I love the idea of her in his outfits, just, sized for her.
Yeah, she'd make them.
Appropriately.
Something that bothered me, speaking of uniforms, about this show is that Chakotay is wandering around wearing his Maquis specific pips, and no one questions it.
Yeah.
No, like, people call him Commander.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Even though he's not wearing Commander's
that's smart.
pips.
Wait a second. There's another flaw in their intelligence. They're all in
Voyager uniforms?
Yeah, and by now I think they've switched over.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we can say that their info is dated
At
back
least,
that far.
At least, yeah. Because when we saw Admiral What's-His-Name in the message, wasn't he in the newer uniform?
Yep, he was. He was wearing the one with
the gray and
the quilted.
Yeah, so they've... Yeah, actually, definitely, because Andy Dick was in the newer uniform, too, and that was a while ago. So, yeah.
So they do have dated information, but it's not super dated because it's not like Wolf 359 stuff.
Yeah.
They are wearing Voyager uniforms. So
yeah.
If they got it from the Borg, it is up to date. Relatively up to date.
Yeah.
But yeah, it bothered me that Chakotay...
Yeah, no one commented on his... Yeah. And they knew it was a commander's...
Yeah, even though it was something... Like, I don't know who designed that or like where it came from, but it's not something that anybody else wears.
No.
Is that like a... I wonder if that is like an official Starfleet insignia for like civilian,
some sort of weird provisional title thing, like a field promotion.
Did they just let the Maquis make their own and Seska came up with it?
Yeah.
Or Suter.
That's right. Suter was a big...
Miss him.
Actually, it was Hogan.
Pin designer.
Poor Hogan was the artisan of the group.
2 more minor notes before I have run out of things. Tucker Smallwood, who played Bullock, who was the Admiral.
That name's familiar.
You were going to see him a bunch in Enterprise.
Oh!
And also, he is a human actor, so...
Well, sure.
He was, excited to be on Star Trek, and he's like, oh, good, I'll be under an alien, alien makeup, because he had recently, been suffering from Bell's palsy, so was having trouble emoting with half of his face. So when someone mentioned to him later, like, wow, you seem like such a stern admiral, he says, yes, because that's the expression that I could do.
I mean, I feel kind of bad saying, but I thought his expressions were great.
I liked him, yeah.
He looked like kind of a stern, so I thought it was on purpose.
Yeah, I liked him. I'm excited to see more of him in Enterprise, where I believe he's going to be under a bunch of makeup, so he'll be happy with that. And my other note is, so they named Valerie Archer, because obviously we are not in Enterprise land yet.
Yep.
And Nick Sagan named her as a combination. If you combine the character Dave Bowman, who's the main character from 2001,
okay,
and Ellie Arroway, who's the main character in Contact, and you take Bo and Arrow, you get an Archer.
Oh, boy.
Good work, Nick Sagan.
That's oh dear.
I feel like it's okay if that's how you came up with a name, but maybe don't tell people about it. You know?
Anywho.
Oh, no.
I think it's cute. And I think it's a nice nod to his dad's work, so.
Yeah.
Okay, well, next up we're going to be talking about Once Upon a Time.
Tidy.
Oh, ta-tee-ta-toy. In Once Upon a Time, we're on the holodeck, and we're in the magical world of Flotter, who is a children's storybook character.
Peppa Pig. We're here visiting Peppa Pig.
Without the cute accent.
Yeah, this terrifying
seriously.
water monster that is Naomi Wildman likes to play with. And they're like, interactive storybooks, I guess.
They're apparently huge. Harry Kim played them as a kid.
Janeway played them. So Flotter is, he's like the Barney, I guess, of the Star Trek universe. And
he's more advanced than that.
Well, sure.
But even more multi-generational. He's almost like a...
Big Bird.
Yeah.
Big Bird, yeah.
Yeah, like there's some Sesame Street stuff going on.
Absolutely horrifying.
Oh, yes.
In appearance. And then he's got his friend Trevis, who's a tree monster, also fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And they got their kind of adversary,
Fire
Ogre, who is actually terrifying.
That one was weird.
Burns
for a kid's
burns
novel.
Trevis's forest and evaporates Flotter.
Was getting a lot of Fern Gully vibes.
Yeah, it was rough. That is some...
It just felt like a big jump. You felt like it went from 7 and below to fucking young adult real quick.
Kids gotta learn about death someday.
Let's see, it was a series the author created over a long period of time. It's like, the audience is getting older. I guess I'll...
Right.
Yeah, or they wrote them for their own kids, and their kids got older.
It's like the Harry Potter books, right? Didn't those wasn't that a thing that they did where they made them more adult?
Alternately, the writer was just getting increasingly bitter. It's like, I want it to be known for my serious work, but everyone loves these fucking kids things.
Right.
I'll show them.
So anywho,
and he kills Flotter.
But we find out that it is just, it's a holodeck game that Naomi Wildman plays, and Samantha Wildman, Naomi's mom, as well as Tuvok and Paris are on an away mission on the Delta Flyer, and something's gone horribly wrong. They're stuck in an ion storm, and they crash land on a planet, and not just crash land, they embed themselves deep in this planet.
It felt like a quicksand planet or something.
Yeah, it was rough, and there was no getting out of it, and their ship was slowly dying. So really, the episode, not a ton happens. It's mostly about the little girl playing with the video game, and Neelix trying to shield her from the reality that there's a good chance her mom is dead. And it's good in that, Neelix is sort of re-dealing with the death of his family from the Metreon Cascade. So he freaks out and he yells at Janeway, and he's just not having a great time. And then the little girl, of course, figures out that, oh shit, Neelix has been lying to me and telling me.
Not telling the whole story. He never once lies.
Lied by omission, then.
Yeah, sure. But she considers it a lie, so she kind of runs away and hides in the holodeck and gets her friends to tell Neelix to fuck off. But then he explains to her, listen, I just didn't want you to be scared because I know what it's like to be a kid, and I wasn't even a kid when that shit happened, but I still fucking hate it. So she's like, it's okay, Neelix, I understand. And turns out, as expected, if they really wanted us to believe that Samantha Wildman was in jeopardy, they wouldn't have put her on the same shuttle with Tuvok and Paris, because, as expected, she's rescued, and everyone's rescued, and everyone's fine, and we get to go back and play in the holodeck and have a great time, and Janeway also gets to play.
See, I knew that they were going to obviously be, found because of the plot immunity of the other two, but she had internal damage, so I was almost envisioning, the end of Cujo, where they finally, beat the dog, but the kid died in the car,
Oh, shit, I've not seen Cujo,
Spoilers
and
for Cujo.
Dang it.
The kid dies because of, heat exhaustion and, no food and no water for, days.
Yeah, Stephen King will kill kids.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
Thank you,
so many kids.
Unlike a lot of movies and horror things. So, interestingly, I looked up these two the other day, Trevis and Flotter.
Clevis and Trevis.
And both prolific vat guys, it turns
cool.
out. But interestingly, in stuff we brought up before, Louis Ferreira, I'm not sure which, who I think he was Trevis.
Oh, is he any relation to the guy from RoboCop? What's this? Miguel Ferreira?
That's Miguel Ferrar.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
But he was in Man in the High Castle, which I know you have seen.
Yeah.
And the other one has been in For All Mankind.
Oh,
Love
that's
it.
a good show.
Yeah,
Such a good show.
Flaughter was in For All Mankind. Actually, he was also a regular on the Larry Sanders show.
Oh yeah, he's that guy. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, honestly, like, get rid of the bulbousness, and he basically just looks like Flaughter.
The monster.
Trevis is
less familiar.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, it's funny. What had prompted me to look them up in the first place was for a split second, there was something about Trevis's mouth movements that made me think that it might have been Andy Robinson under there.
Oh, that would have been funny.
I'm sure it's something you would have been aware of.
Yeah.
Well, his voice would have been a giveaway. Too.
Well, if he maybe could have put one on, but
They dubbed him.
yeah, they're both.
It's actually Jeffrey Combs.
And actually, I have seen other photos of Flaughter from other angles, and he's actually a fairly a handsome older gentleman. Looks a little less like a fish. But in that photo, he looks a little more like a fish. Oh,
Which
God.
is fitting for a water creature.
Yes, I will say...
but he's made out of water. He's not a fish. He's just a water creature.
No, that's how a children's thing would do it, though.
Yeah, true.
I will say the only thing more terrifying than Flaughter, though, was the Flaughter plush toy.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty rough.
Oh, that was terrifying. It's like, yeah, here, this will help you sleep. Or, just give her waking nightmares, one or the other.
I don't know. I feel like if you look back in retrospect at any of the stuff we liked as kids, there are a lot that are going to be fucking terrifying.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's just, it is. Plus, I don't know, I've never made really, understood
Eureka's Castle. Fucking nightmare fuel.
No, I
That
love
sounds cool.
Eureka's Castle.
Stephen King worked on that.
Did he really?
I've heard that. I think it's true. I feel like I looked into it once. Now I can't remember. I also just do not understand, just in general, a soft doll with a hard head. And I know plenty of people make those.
They do. They
That's
do
a
a lot.
super common thing. And I'm just like, why?
I'm going to say cost. Because it's easy to make a soft body, but if you want a consistent looking head, you make it out of something that you can create a mold for.
Possibly.
That's what I'm going to say.
That works for me.
But you still want it to be soft to be snuggly.
Yeah. So, what a mixed bag this was.
I expected to hate it because I know I'd heard people hate Flaughter. I didn't mind Flaughter. It was a kids show thing. It's fine. I get it. But all the Neelix stuff was so perfect for his character to go back and project himself onto these situations and say, he's trying to protect Naomi. His heart is in the right place, which is not where Vulcans keep their heart.
No.
Thank you very much.
By the liver.
And it seemed so genuine that he wants to help Naomi, but he's doing it wrong because he's been through so much trauma.
Yeah.
This is why the ship needs a fucking counselor, but we've talked about that every fucking week.
Yeah. That's what, for me, it was just the problem really is that they did the Flaughter stuff really well. It's yep, this is a bad kid story. If as a kid, I would have loved it, but as an adult, you're just like, is it over yet?
Yeah. And I don't know, I liked Flaughter's scenes because it was really well. It's almost like they went to a kids' TV producer to learn how to do it because it was the exact shit that we would get as kids. There's an environmentalism angle that they're working in there for no fucking reason. Oh, and we're gonna learn about the water cycle.
Well, even the way
Tim Curry's playing an oil slick, and it's weirdly hot.
Oh my.
Extremely sexy.
So hot.
And the two actors under all that, so much makeup and weird jumpsuits. The movements were exaggerated in just the right ways and this and that. And it's just yep, you're nailing it. Still don't want to be watching it.
There's this episode had a lot of similarities, not just in the holodeck, but with other things. In the episode where Lwaxana takes Alexander to the holodeck.
I think that's New Ground.
And they have...
No, it's Cost of Living.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because it's another instance where the kid's going through some serious trauma, and Lwaxana is the wrong person to help him through it.
The right person.
Well,
let's get naked with this weird floating clown head
thing. She's
thing.
the Timon and Pumbaa to his recently scarred Simba, and it's just no good.
Well, and also, but it's funny because again, there's also that similar thing of this was the first time we saw her, I think, after half a life, and she's clearly still dealing with the impact of that episode. So again, there's that corollary.
correlation.
Correlation, with Neelix, who's dealing with
Yeah.
his own stuff.
Yeah, it seems like this, but I feel like this is a better episode than that episode
I agree.
was.
In which episode?
Cost of living.
Oh, Cost of Living was terrible.
Yeah.
And it had
But they're very
that
similar.
weird
Bubblehead
bubblehead
thing.
thing,
Yeah,
which
that
is
was
very
just horrible.
Flaughter. But
Flaughter's better than
more
that
terrifying.
thing.
Well, yeah,
That was good on Bubblehead guy.
it was great, but Flaughter at least was comprehensible. It was just like, why is this supposed to be entertaining?
Because kids have tiny sponge brains. I love that Naomi figured out, oh no, they killed Flaughter, but because knowledge is a thing that I can possess easily through the doctor, figured out how we can get Flaughter back by making him recondense.
I kind of wonder if that's also how the story is supposed to go.
Yeah, because they're kind of educational-ish.
Yeah, so maybe she would have learned through the story the same sort of lesson eventually somehow. Or he would have just come back as a cloud and explained the water cycle to her.
Yeah. Somewhere in the create your own adventure of this game, it's the if the kid hasn't figured it out, just do it.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing that's weird about that is it's like we were talking about this with another holodeck episode. Oh, was it the one where Tuvok writes about what happens if there's an insurrection on the ship or whatever?
Oh yeah, that Seska hijacked.
You have to account for the student or for the child to do this, and then it becomes so much. At what point is the computer taking over and just making assessments built on what's in there about the characters?
Yeah.
The characters seem not sapient, but at least aware, because one of them recognizes Samantha.
I love
though
that.
She's grown up, but this is a holodeck program on the Voyager,
Well,
where Samantha didn't grow up.
maybe
she put her save file in the cloud.
she brought her copy. I was thinking.
Okay,
yeah.
I like that.
I really loved that. I thought it was a really sweet thing, and I missed you. I missed you too. I just thought that was so sweet.
That is sweet.
But yeah, I imagine that meant it was her copy of the program specifically. Like that Flaughter wouldn't have recognized Harry or Janeway.
Yeah, it's like a hand-me-down toy.
Yeah.
Samantha.
Yeah, it's like a book that when you open it up and you realize, oh, it's got my mom's old. What do you call those stickums?
Book
Book plate. Yeah.
Stickums.
I
That's
put
what you
Star
call
Trek
them,
book
stickums.
plates.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Your mom's book plate is in there, but she wrote her name as
Sammy.
No, I was gonna say I was trying to think of a celebrity from the 70s, like Mrs. Jane Travolta.
But who would the celebrities be? Captain Kirk? Mrs.
That's
Samantha
we
Kirk?
don't know loads about civilian entertainment.
Mrs.
so.
Admiral Captain Mrs. the Admiral Mrs. the Admiral Captain Kirk.
Dr. Mrs. the Monarch.
Dr. Mrs. the Monarch, yeah.
I like to imagine that after she retired from Starfleet, Uhura went into entertainment. As a dancer and singer. She's quite good at those.
Well, remember, in the early drafts of Star Trek 6, she almost became a radio DJ.
I think we already know what happened is that she becomes a professional dominatrix. Pretty sure I covered that in our first fanfiction.
Links below.
Fuck, what's wrong with the link that?
That was my best. That's still the fanfiction I'm proudest of.
I don't know. The Pulaski maneuver was really good.
It was funny. I try.
Oh, so this is our new Naomi, because she's older than the other Naomi, and we're going to see her for most of the rest of the season, even though I'm pretty sure they expected it to be a one and done.
She ends up popping up a lot from here on up, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think this actress remains Naomi throughout this show. I mean,
she wasn't bad for a child actor.
Yeah,
so
she was fine.
She's good. She's a lot better than a lot of the other kids that age. Yeah. Especially it's
Alexander.
weird, right? Because she has to portray
the Little Rascals or whatever the fuck they were called.
Probably the actress is probably 6 or 7 or 8. I don't know.
Nah.
But she's portraying a 2-year-old.
Well, but see, because she's part something or other,
Katarian or
doodly.
Katarian eggs.
So very like Alexander in that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I think the actress does a good job.
Yeah, again, I think with the whole children's story thing, I felt like she was a very convincing child. I just find kids annoying.
Yeah. I like that she's utterly terrified of Borgs, but nothing in the holodeck.
Well, because Borg are real.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And
I think
she knows the safeties are on.
I expected her to turn the safeties off when she went in.
It
Like
does
Balana
seem
last week.
a little strange to me, though, that she's suspicious of Seven in particular, considering she's known or been around Seven in one way or another
For most of her life.
Most of her life.
Well, because she's scary and standoffish.
Well, here's the thing. Kids don't have their own prejudices, so I think it means that Samantha is a really huge anti-Borg racist.
Or
Yes.
or B'Elanna's babysat her once or twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Yep, that could do it.
Yeah, it's weird because she's like, oh, it's the Borg lady, and she'll assimilate you into her collective, and it's like, there's no other kids on board. So it's not like that. Like, I can understand, like, schoolyard kids being like, having a rhyme about 7 of 9 takes your brain and sticks it in a jar, and then she runs over your body with her car, and whatever.
Isn't that Rapture by Blondie? I'm pretty sure.
It could be. I feel like she totally could have just gone to the EMH one day and been like, so what's the deal with 7-9? It's like, oh, she's a Borg. It's like, what's that?
She'll assimilate you into her collective.
Well, right, and then he is just like way too honest about what the Borg are to a small child, and that just slightly traumatized her.
Yeah,
The
but
thing
like
is,
she
like-
basically somebody had to have put that knowledge into her that the Borg are bad.
But she spends a lot of time with her godfather, Neelix.
Yeah.
Who's, very accepting of everybody, and is probably, and if there's anybody who's going to defend Seven, it's going to be Neelix.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Before they set up, they forgot to set up parental controls. So like now all she can turn on is Flaughter, but she turned on like
A reenactment of Wolf 359.
yeah, or she turned on like war games. It was like like in Call of Duty Borg.
Call of Duty 438.
Yeah.
Borg
I
attacks.
bet you there
The
is
eugenics wars.
holodeck Borg assimilation porn.
That's kind of where I
God.
thought that he was going.
Yeah.
Like, using their little gross tubes to assimilate you, but going in through the lady bits.
369.
There
That's
it is.
good, I like
That's
that.
the one.
Make that movie. No, don't make that movie.
No, Jesus
Don't make
Christmas.
that movie.
I mean, make it.
Tell someone in the industry to make it. And then
Or just write it. We got more fanfic every year, so I'd read it. Shit, maybe I should write it. No, that way leads madness.
One thing this episode seemed to be missing a bit. So since we've got 3 people trapped, presumably dead or dying quickly in a shuttle pod, is anything from Torres, who is whose significant other is near death.
Tom even does the video to her.
The problem is that Janeway also put Neelix in charge of telling Tom, and Tom is like,
You mean B'Elanna?
Sorry, B'Elanna, and it's not as funny if I do it that way. And B'Elanna keeps being like, "When's Tom coming home? You think he's okay?" And Neelix is like, we
sure
haven't
he's
heard,
fine.
but I'm sure it's fine.
No, it's B'Elanna. She's like, oh, all right then.
Yeah.
I'm mad at him this week anyway.
I mean, this is...
Spent too much time on fucking Captain Proton.
I feel like this is like the start of the sidelining of Torres.
Oh no, I
She's-
love Torres.
Because like we just don't like she should have been way more involved in this episode. She wasn't involved at all in the last episode either.
No, you're right.
Well, maybe she should have been nicer to Seven.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I did love Tom's message to Torres. I got mildly misty-eyed watching that, like, oh, that's very sweet, Tom. And he's keeping it, semi-upbeat. He makes a joke about the computer counting down when he's going to die.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, that's very nice. And Tuvok also had a really, really great scene with Samantha where they're talking about your child will be okay because you raised them to, have the kind of values you have, and, they'll understand, and this kind of thing. Like Tuvok saying, I've been away from my family this whole time, but I trust that they're okay, and they get it.
Did you ever notice when he psychically told Tom yes? Or whatever it was?
What?
About what?
There's a moment where they're doing like some repairs, and Tom's there, ready, Tuvok? And Tuvok's like, ready. But the problem is he clearly hadn't said anything on the day. He just nods, and they really badly ADR'd his response
Oh,
in.
did they?
And the camera has not panned away. You can see that all Tim Russ does is a little nod. And also the sound quality of the recorded line wasn't meshed as well. It's quite amusing.
So here's the thing, though, right? So they're on the shuttle, or
They
the
are.
Delta Flyer, which is better than a shuttle, bigger.
The SUV of shuttles.
We've had it for 2 weeks and already destroyed it.
Yeah, they've been using it a lot.
Yes.
Because they use it in the last episode and this one. So it's going to show up a lot. But anyway, did they not pack EV suits on this thing? Because as we know, you can survive basically indefinitely in an EV suit. So
Well, depends
all
on
they had
the
to do is
episode.
put those on. And then,
In Demon you can, but in the one where Tom and Torres
or
I
lost
keep
it.
mismatching.
Yeah, but there was
Paris and Torres.
But in that one, there was like a big hole in the suit.
A baseball-sized
Like-
hole in the suit.
Yeah, all you got, you got your backup supply, and you can be there for days.
My answer is no, they didn't pack EV suits.
That's not.
No, the problem is, you know what it was? Is Tom had packed, like, vintage 20th century style spacesuits. Like,
Yay.
God damn it, Tom, these are useless.
He's got his Captain Proton outfit. It's very cute.
He's actually got one of those fucking 1930s fishbowl helmets. Lieutenant, you understand this isn't actually airtight. Ah, shit. But it looks so cool.
Instead of "oh shit," he just goes.
Tuvok snaps, rips one of the, like, metal handlebars out of the thing, starts wailing on him with it.
I want to know why people give Riker so much shit about his joystick when Tom literally has fucking joysticks as his joystick, and it's obnoxious.
I think it's because Riker's pops up out of nowhere.
And it's somehow...
He never got any
And
control
also, like,
over that thing.
Riker's is legit, like, a joystick you could go and buy
Yeah,
at Palm USA.
It was a recognizable... Like, people have identified exactly what joystick it was.
Unlike Tom's, which obviously got ripped from any 80s arcade cabinet
But the thing is,
ever.
he's admitting his is, like, modeled after the Captain Proton
I
chintzy
know,
stuff.
it's just...
It's also, like, in the middle of what's supposed to be a kind of dramatic scene in the movie. Like, everything about that film's terrible.
No, you are fucking lying, Chris.
Which film?
Insurrection.
Which one's that again?
F.
The one with
Murray
the
Abraham.
It's not
Picard
great.
gets his head polished.
Data asks about boobs.
Oh, yeah, the one about the gravity
yeah,
on
that
her
is
tits
bad.
or whatever.
Data's pants inflate because he can be used as a flotation
Flotation
device in the event of a water landing.
Definitely feeling aggressive tendencies,
something.
sir.
I'd like to do a water landing in his pants.
Nice.
No, not
that
nice.
doesn't make any sense.
It kind of does.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, yes, you're right. Never mind.
Speaking of water, back to
Bags
fodder.
of sand.
Hey.
I had a thing I was going to say and I've lost it.
Was it actually about Flaughter?
No, I was going to bring up Neelix again, because why not? Because Neelix's little message to Elixia was so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
I loved him so much in this episode. I'm not going to shit on Neelix anymore until this next time he annoys me.
Until he does something again, which he will.
The one real bummer was that was such a well done scene, but then
right
they
in front
cut
of
to-
Naomi.
Well, not just that. I was waiting for that to be what it was. Like she looks around the corner, like that's how she finds out.
That's kind of what I thought too.
Her mother's basically dead.
Like that
10 feet away.
didn't happen. But the bummer was the fact that they clearly didn't have a photo of that actress in the makeup.
Oh,
So it was just a really
yeah.
awkward still from her one appearance, and you're just like, oh, maybe you just shouldn't have shown the photo at all.
Yeah.
But yes, the scene up until that point, again, all the stuff with Neelix and his being so sad was very well done. As doing the two things that are consistent: Chakotay and Neelix is sad.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting how he has the nightmare about
Oh, yeah.
the Metreon cascade, and it looks very similar to the fire ogre destroying the forest.
I assume that was on purpose.
Oh, I know, exactly. I thought that was well done.
I got very angry because in my stupid book, the Delta Quadrant book, it doesn't even continue much further than this because he wrote it mid-series like a fool. One of the things he didn't like from this episode was, the Metreon cascade looked really terrible, didn't it? I'm like, it's a dream. It's supposed to be Neelix interpreting a dream because he's, stressed out.
Yeah, he wasn't even there for the
Exactly.
Metreon cascade.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what it looks like.
This is what he's picturing because he doesn't know what happened to his family, which is the whole point of his fucking speech. But also, like, Jake's point is perfect because the whole lighting the great forest thingy, what's it actually called? The Forest of Forever on fire is very triggering to him.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that wrote that book was clearly an
doesn't know
idiot.
what's
A
going
lot
on.
of the stuff you brought up, I was like, guy's an idiot.
Yeah, so I thought that was well done. Yeah, and I love the scene with Neelix and Janeway where he basically yells at her and is like, don't fucking tell me how to how to raise my daughter.
I mean, for that matter, when he finally tells Naomi what's going on, and she asks him, why didn't you tell me before? Or she asks some question, I forget what it was, and he doesn't respond by just answering the question with, because I was scared of something, or because I didn't know how to tell you, or whatever. He responds by telling the story of how he lost his family.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect way to frame that to a kid who doesn't understand this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Is to make it something personal. And that was great.
Also,
I'm liking this episode more and more now that we talk about it.
Yeah. Well, again, all of his stuff is really quite good.
Yeah.
Also, he brings up the most sensible point ever that we all said constantly during TNG. A starship is no place for children.
Seriously. Inform Galaxy class, please.
Yes. Get all the damn civilians off. Use the extra space for, I don't know, more labs or holodecks or...
EV suits.
EV suits.
For Tom, specifically.
Something. Admittedly, that wasn't the plan here. Lost in space and all that, but still.
Yeah. They needed there to be steaks, all the thing, etc., etc.
Ooh, steaks.
Delicious. No segue. I'm going to tell you what the original story was.
Yay!
Because, boy, it was very different, and I kind of still want it. The original plan, it was going to be, a story that takes place entirely on the holodeck. It might have still been the Flotter story with Naomi, who knows. Would have been almost entirely on the holodeck. But you would get, glimpses of the fact that there's a war going on the outside. And I think it would be sheltering Naomi in the holodeck so she doesn't really see the war because it's scary.
Ah.
But you every so often get, bits of what the story is with this war that's happening. And how, so-and-so just, launched the new torpedo thing and we blew one of them up, but oh god, now we're under attack and stuff like that. Which is a great device for telling a story. And I kind of wish it happened. But they said, Deep Space Nine is doing Dominion War right now, so we can't do another one. What do you guys think we are? Some kind of sci-fi show?
Well, I feel like a lot of people's complaints about Deep Space Nine is that they were so entrenched in, the whole war thing and not as Star Trek-y as people wanted. So maybe they were afraid to, make another show.
But this would be a one-off episode. The war takes so much of the final couple seasons of Deep Space Nine.
I don't know, man. People are dumb.
True. Yeah. Especially Rick Berman.
So Samantha Wildman is a xenobiologist, I believe.
Sure.
I think that's the first thing we learned about her.
Mm-hmm.
She's also a geologist.
Apparently she's also an engineer and a geologist and whatever the hell else they need her to be on the...
But she's not a bricklayer, goddammit.
She's general science.
Basically.
Jill Nye, the science girl.
That was a joke on Prodigy this week.
What was?
That there's more
lots of
science.
different kinds of
not
science.
Jill Nye the Science
Yeah, that's
Girl.
what I think. Yeah,
I was like, it was?
That-
I watched that episode. I don't remember
it
that
was
at
actually a nice acknowledgement of that all too common issue in all sorts of media. It's just when someone's a scientist, they are everything.
Yeah.
And then it's no, there's so many disciplines.
Well, and you've got that bastard Bill Nye to thank for that. I'm just kidding.
Another good episode of Prodigy.
I love that show. Also, Chris reminded me that the person playing Rock is actually a child.
Yeah.
How old is she?
11.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't she amazing?
Of her and holy shit.
Yep.
This makes me appreciate her even more because she really does a great job.
Anything else?
Why can kids just wander onto the bridge?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
well.
Chris
Son of a bitch.
Chris said that while we were
when
watching.
she went into the elevator and was like, Deck 1, bridge, I was like, no, the elevator's going to say no can do.
But then, how often did people just wander on the bridge
Exactly.
in TNG?
Yeah.
All the time.
It's continuity.
That one kid was able to get into the shuttle bay no problem. That
Jesus. Kid, Jake, who nearly died in some kind of stupid thing.
Yeah, yeah. So that was not a surprise that she got on the bridge. Of course she got on the fucking bridge. I will say, I'm very grateful though. I was really afraid when we popped up. It's Once Upon a Time, and we're on the holodeck with that nightmare fishwater man. I was like, oh god, is this going to be a holodeck malfunction? Are they going to become sentient? Are they going to what's going to happen
The
here?
safety controls get disabled and she has to escape from a tree monster.
Yeah, I was really worried it was going to be that. So I'm grateful it was not that. So grateful.
I love that Janeway flooded the Forest of Forever when she was a kid. That was good. That was so Janeway. It's not even funny.
It's the child version of blowing up the ship.
Yeah. Yep. Self-destruct this forest.
God. So I feel like we brought up Lwaxana at least once or twice.
Boy, didn't we? So for some reason, Ames was like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And I was like, yeah! And I don't know why I said that, but I did. And the thing that I said that I would do is talk about Lwaxana.
Whom we love.
Whom I love. Well, as I recall, like in the beginning, I didn't. I hated her. She was annoying. She goes from absolutely annoying to like one of my favorite characters, somewhere around, let me think, half a life.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's,
we can pinpoint it.
That is exactly where
that.
they treated her as a human being and not like a mother-in-law trope.
Yeah.
But the whole time they treated her like a fucking fashion icon.
That is true.
So, Lwaxana Troi, daughter of the Fifth House, holder of the sacred chalice of Rix, heir to the holy rings of Beta Zed, and mother of Troi, whose real name I can't think of right now. What's her first name?
Deanna.
Yeah, that's it, Deanna. Good old Deanna Troi. So, basically this is just sort of focusing on the beauty and majesty of the clothing of Lwaxana. She's a fucking fashion icon, and a feminist icon, and just an icon in general. My slides are not good. I apologize. Whatever.
Where can everybody else see these slides?
Oh, nowhere, because they're not fit to consume. But I guess they'll probably be on Tumblr at some point, unfortunately, for you guys. So what I did, most of the stuff that you see is basically Ames did it. Ames pulled a bunch of shots for me, and all I had to do was go, ooh, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one. I wanted to try to, think of categories for Lwaxana, 5 out of 5 stars for, color and fit and, the audacity. And I feel
the fucking bling of it all.
Yeah, and accessories for sure, makeup. I mean, these are all things that we need to look at for Lwaxana because the more time I spent, not that I spent a lot of time, I'm sorry, but the more time I spent looking at it, the more I kept noticing, little things, it isn't just the outfits. The outfits themselves are always insane and over the top, but, she often has really bold statement piece jewelry, she's got her wonderful and sometimes awful collection of wigs, in Deep Space Nine mostly. She's just fantastic. So the first episode that we see Lwaxana in is Haven, and we see 2 distinct looks, which, honestly, if you hadn't given me 2 sets of slides, I wouldn't have noticed because they're so similar, the outfits, at least to me.
Oh, yeah, because they're red.
Yeah,
red is her color this episode.
It is, and it really suits her. And I like that, on our first time seeing her, we've got this, beautiful, she's got, a diadem, or a tiara, or a crown, or I don't even know what you would call this, but she's got this really beautiful headpiece, and I think this is probably her natural hair. I feel like a lot of time... Well...
I don't think they use natural hair on any of the women ever in these shows.
Well, let me put it a different way. I feel like this is the wig we see her in a lot when maybe we're supposed to believe it's her natural hair. Okay. Because we do see...
Lwaxana's natural hair, not
Major's.
Right.
Lwaxana's natural hair.
I follow you now.
Because, we see her with this, glorious white wig later and a pink wig and this big, goofy dog haircut wig. So there are ones that are obviously wigs, but I feel like in character this is her hair.
Gotcha.
And I love everything about this look. I guess at the end we can talk about which ones we like best and stuff. But I love
naked, obviously.
Well, you gave me that screenshot. I have it. Same. But the first time we meet her, this is the episode Haven. She's come to the Enterprise to, I guess, make Lwaxana get married to somebody that she promised her to. What did I say? Lwaxana? Deanna. Jesus Christ. She's like, guess what? Your husband's coming. It's your future husband, so let's meet him. And Deanna's like, Mom, why don't you have an accent? And Lwaxana's like, look at my clothing. But this is it's our first look at Lwaxana. She's fabulous. She's covered in sequins. I love the elegance of the long dress. I love, and again, I didn't get a super good look at her earrings in this one, but her, oh no, here we go. You can see that it matches her crown perfectly. She's always just very well put together. So that's the first look in Haven. And the second look, like I said, I almost didn't notice that it was a different outfit because I'm not good at... This was a really good one for me to do because I don't notice aesthetics very much. So I was like, oh yeah, there is a different look. It's a similar color pattern, and I think we reuse this necklace. Oh no, I'm lying. Okay, we don't at all. Anyway, we've got a similar color pattern here. We've got the red and the purples going again. She actually upped her makeup game, I think because this is an evening thing. We're sort of schmoozing.
I think this might be... Is this one where they have the dinner and they gave Tasha Yar, that great haircut.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone's all gussied up for that.
Everybody looks beautiful.
I love the plunging
The back. It's so good. And this would be the 5 stars for Audacity. Because she turns around, and it's like I can almost see butt crack. But again, how old was she at this point?
Oh, I don't know.
Like in her 50s,
At
at
least in her
least?
50s, yeah.
This bitch looks hot.
Like,
This
she
is
was
part
in,
of the...
Yeah, she was in TOS. She's not a young lady.
No, she's not. And she's rocking it. She's always gorgeous. And again, we don't really like her at this point of the show. And we won't for a while.
Yeah, she comes in saying, Deanna, get married against your will.
And then the next time we see her, she's just like on the search for some dick. That's kind of... Lwaxana's main theme is looking for dick. But then she finds meaningful dick. And again, that's when it all changes. Because then it goes from just like sex-hungry Lwaxana to like actually having deep emotional connections to people, Lwaxana. I particularly also love this like feathered piece that she has in her hair here, this fascinator that she has going on. Strikes me as being like, I don't know, like early 20th century somehow.
Yeah.
Like she's going to a speakeasy.
It's like the 24th century interpreting a flapper.
I love it.
Also, apparently that mirror made on Vulcan, because it's the same shape as their gongs.
Yeah. My favorite piece about this look is the living plant that she wraps around her arm.
That annoys people at the dinner.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Isn't it great? There's a picture where the woman next to her is looking at her like, what the fuck? But again, the audacity.
Yeah.
It's what makes Lwaxana. Well, anyway, so that's it for Haven. First time we see her, we love her. Second episode is Manhunt. And
that is
we have
amazing.
Upped the fucking audacity. This is one of my favorite outfits. I love it. Again, it's this stately gown, floor length, sequins. Yeah, so many titties.
This is, if the last one with the feather was like Star Trek does Flapper, this is, save the incredible amount of cleavage, which this would not be, but Star Trek does Disney Princess. Again, Disney Princess would have less cleavage happening, but aside from that.
And in this scene...
like a younger princess would have it, though.
They still don't generally... Well, here and there.
Yeah, Jasmine is, like, completely naked. She has, like, a bikini top on.
Ariel's wearing seashells.
But there's bosom, but there's never... Well, not never, but there's less cleavage.
Well, anyway, whatever.
Ursula.
Ursula. She
fucking
uses body language.
She's a bad guy. Bad guys are allowed to be sexy.
Got it.
Like Hexus.
Yeah.
From Ferngully. He had cleavage. I'm just kidding. Actually,
Did he have a butt chin?
No, yes?
I don't know. Anyway,
Lwaxana. So, Manhunt. Lwaxana's on a manhunt, as it turns out. And she's set her sights on Jean-Luc Picard. Well, at least for the beginning.
Oh, this is where they get stuck in his fucking Dixon Hill program, isn't it?
Yes.
And they gotta, he's gotta do that stupid speech at the end.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. I remember this one now.
And Lwaxana tries to fuck a hologram.
Yep.
She doesn't realize it's a hologram until afterwards.
Yeah, she somehow never heard of a holodeck.
And you would think that she would definitely be successful with a hologram.
I think she was the thing.
Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, love this look. It's beautiful. And then we get this great, welcome to my lair, I'm gonna seduce you look, which I feel like in some ways has shades of Deanna and that episode where she's gone kind of evil and trying to fuck
the
everybody.
guy's sucking the life out of her.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like this is almost like foreshadowing to that in a way. But it's beautiful evening wear. It's definitely more understated. And again, we've got great jewelry. I love this statement piece ring she's got.
Yeah, it's a big ring.
Beautiful red lip. I mean, I'd do her. I mean, I would do her anyway. But this would work for me. My favorite still that Ames sent me was this one, where we've got Lwaxana giving Jean-Luc a little foot on the leg, which, how could you resist? And again, this gives us a much better look at just this plunging neckline. How Jean-Luc is able to not is beyond me.
Because he is afraid of sex, like many Englishmen.
I don't know. Vash.
Frenchman.
This is before or after that?
I think this is before Vash.
This is early.
He's in his dress uniform for some reason. I don't remember why.
Because she's, I think, there as an ambassador.
Okay, so it's a formal dinner.
This might be a formal dinner, yeah.
Or she said it was going to be.
Just looks like she dressed down a little. I think that's all I had for this one.
Oh, God, is
this
the
is the same
Ferengi
episode,
one?
though.
Oh, is it? I thought Menage a Troy was the Ferengi one.
That is
Yeah, it is. I thought this was that one, but...
No, this is what... I think this is what she wears when she goes and fucks that bartender in the holodeck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's probably this. We actually have two looks here.
Yeah.
They're both gorgeous.
Yeah, I love this one because it's sort of like the first time that she gets a full color spectrum, because I feel like she's really been doing one at a time. Whereas on this dress,
it's everything.
Just everything.
This reminds me of Christmas.
Well,
yeah, she looks like she's been gift wrapped. She's sort of got Christmas bows. I've been saving these for years.
See, I saw it more as kind of almost a again her kid, the goddess of empathy outfit. There's a semi-toga look with a sash of flowers, sort of. But yes, I could also see Christmas.
Yeah, I think my grandparents had garland that was this exact pattern.
That would be pretty, though, on a tree. That would really stand out and be lovely. And I like this, too. She looks like she's got these earrings here, which I would guess are aventurine or something. They're really pretty. Or turquoise or something. A little understated for her. Really pretty. And then this one is this is what the evil stepmother, to go back to Disney, this is what the evil stepmother wears to the ball.
Yeah, it's like a Cruella de Vil look that isn't made of puppies.
I don't...
But she's got that Christmas look again here, too, because these things on her shoulders look like gigantic, just humongous gift wrap bows.
This one I have to admit I'm not super keen on. Just again, the puffy sleeves are way too 80s prom dress.
Big time 80s, yeah.
The rest of it's fine, but I don't like the puffy sleeve.
If Kim Basinger was with her in her dress that she wears to Wayne Manor,
yep,
you'd be like, get together, girls, time for prom.
Yep.
But again,
exactly.
I like the color. The color suits
bright color.
her.
Yeah, bright violet color.
But I feel...
Or purple. More purple.
I feel like she's got big time old lady perm in this one, though, which I don't feel like is very Lwaxana. I don't know. I don't feel like the hair is good. The hair just makes me think she's a golden girl. But, not in a good way. If there is a bad way.
Blanche in space.
They found the bad way.
They did. This is Menage a Troy.
That's a good dress.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, because there's a Ferengi right there.
Yep, there he is.
A lot of
she's
titty.
gonna perform accidental umox later.
The cleavage cut in the Menage a Troy dress is gorgeous.
It is. And I love the neck, too. I really like a kind of a higher neck with, that sort of titty window. I have a couple dresses like that I'm, sort of obsessed with. And again, sequins. Every part of her glitters all the time, and I love that about her. Again, really good makeup game in this one. I like the colors and the shadows, because a lot of the time, I feel like most TV show makeup, it's kind of meant to look natural. You don't get a lot of these, I'm doing this to be, editorial or artistic looks, but she gets to fucking play with all the colors because she's Lwaxana Troy. Fashion icon.
The sheer disdain directed towards that fucking toad, and rightly so.
Oh, the picnic dress.
Yeah, we're going on a picnic, but we're bringing lots and lots. This bodice, this outfit I actually kind of hate, because they, took a dress, and they took an underbust corset, and they glued a bunch of, really uncomfortable rhinestone shit beads to, a bra.
Yeah, it looks really heavy on the
Yeah.
I feel like it would be, if it's got the beading all the way up to, under her arm, it probably is chafing like crap.
Ooh, true.
It looks super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's pretty, and again, 80s, we've got super duper huge shoulder pads.
But hey, the bi flag in their armpit there.
Yeah.
The whole outfit is... That's the color scheme of this outfit, is the bi flag.
That's true. Lwaxana says bi-erasure is bullshit.
Yeah, I love the shoulders covered with flowers. That's gorgeous. But yeah, the corset thing on this is strange.
Yeah, I just don't get why they bothered with that.
It makes her look saggy.
It kind of looks like they were trying to do a flamenco dancer's outfit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking with the sleeves.
But
I just feel like the corset looks like they just slapped it on. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel...
Well, it's interesting, because I noticed with the last one, too, all her previous outfits were just kind of allowed to drape on her more naturally. This one and the previous one seemed to actually have some, shape, extra cinching at the waist.
She's on a manhunt, Chris. Though, honestly, wear that backlist number if you're on a manhunt. That'll have them running.
Yeah.
Or walking slowly to enjoy the view. Either way. I do like the sort of hairpiece she has with the flowers, and I like it from the front here, too, where you can sort of see a little bit of these pretty flowers poking up for the back. Again, that on its own is pretty good. The rest of it I don't love.
Yeah, anything below the shoulders, less good.
Except for the boobs, they're good, but I'm sure she's uncomfortable. I love this one. This dress is so great. I love that it's a green scheme. I love our sort of translucent.
Yeah, translucent.
Both.
Diaphanous. Would you call it? I don't know. And I don't know.
Dilophosaurus.
Exactly. Again, cleavage. Again, big eye makeup, beautiful red lip. She always has a great red lip. And I just love this little capelet situation she has. Like, I don't know. It really...
And I gotta say, though, wasn't this picked out for her by the Ferengi that kidnapped her? Does he actually have some taste?
Listen, if Quark is anybody to judge by, Ferengis do have excellent taste. The only person who has maybe more and more exciting costuming than Lwaxana, I feel like, is Quark. He's the only one that comes close.
One day we may look at Quark costumes, but that's going to be real hard because he repeats them a lot.
It's also going to have to be 15 parts.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because even with repetition, he has
you could do it season by season.
Maybe, yeah. The other thing I love in this one, she's got this little headbandy thing going on
Yeah,
that matches her earrings.
Yep.
Oh, it does. Look at that.
Yeah, no, she does a lot of matchy match. It's beautiful, and I really like the bead and sequins work on the like sleeves. I don't know if it's viney. It kind of reminds me of viney. She has a lot of like natural stuff that gets woven into her.
Yeah, I've seen these all together. They definitely try to do like a floral thing with her frequently.
Kind of gives her a more goddessy feel.
She looks like she walks out of a greenhouse. Fabulous greenhouse.
They did go really heavy on the rouge in this one. She's just very red. The blush is a little too much on this, but
that's how the Ferengi wanted her.
Maybe.
Also, I think wasn't that kind of the look at the time, like early 90s.
Well, I mean, maybe, but like I don't feel like. I feel like most of the rest of the time they do a good job, and here it just looks like she's got rosacea. I don't know. Anyway, new episode.
Wow, this is like almost subdued.
I know.
Vulcan look to it.
With almost hints of like kind of trying to do a sari without going full sari.
So Half a Life, of course, is the episode that made me fall in love with Lwaxana Troi. It's the episode where she falls in love with the scientist, and they find out that because he's almost like 60 or something, that it's time for him to commit ritual suicide, as is tradition on his planet, which is, it's Resolution, I think they said it's called. Something like that.
It's terrible.
It's awful terrible. People. And it's like, this is great because I feel like you really finally see like that Lwaxana is actually like a really caring, compassionate person, and yeah, she definitely goes from just being like a sex-hungry, crazy person to like an actual character.
I suppose that's probably why this is one of the most subdued outfits they've ever put her in. It's like, we need her to do some dramatic heavy lifting this time, so let's... Yeah,
it's almost like more of a mature look.
It is. Yeah. The colors are lovely.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I love the sort of like multicolored sash that she has. The blue of the dress is gorgeous. Thankfully, no ridiculous shoulder pads in this one. But again, we're given great earring.
Yep.
She always has really nice dangly earrings, and these are gorgeous, but you definitely have, like, this feels very, like, whether she's there as an ambassador or not, I really don't remember, but she always is an ambassador. Like, this feels like Ambassador Lwaxana.
In that picture of her talking to Picard, I think it's the most she has ever actually looked like Marina Sirtis.
Yeah, I can see that. But she's got a lot of costumes in this one.
She does, yeah.
Here we have this really nice... Again, with the, like, flowing sleeves. This one's kind of reminds me a little bit, like you were saying, a little bit toga-ish in a way.
Romanish look.
Romanish look. She's got this great blue outfit. We've got some good dip in the front. We've got some good dip in the back. We have our nice, like, I don't even know what we would call them, an epaulette, but that's not right. Grommets? I don't know. Not a lot of, but like again though, here though, really understated. No jewelry.
Yeah.
She's not as, like this
Well, it looks like she might still be getting ready.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Holmes got something in his arms and her
It looks like he's got her Menage a Troi outfit.
Yeah. She kept it. Well, they didn't let Mr. Holmes dress up this time though. He's not in his usual gray suit thing.
Yeah, he's got the flamenco dancer.
He looks like he's got like a Chinese lantern on his arm.
Oh yeah, I remember this like very magenta-y dress.
Yeah.
Because it appears again either later in the episode or in another episode.
I love this one because it's kind of like, again, it's definitely more understated. It's like darker, as it like feels like is correct for this like scene in this episode.
Yeah.
But she's still got her Lwaxana flair. She's got some shine. She's got some earrings.
Well, I doubt it was on purpose, but just the way the light sort of works on the shiny bit, it kind of like is reminiscent of the weird patterning on his head, even.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose or just a delightful coincidence.
It does work though.
Yeah.
And I love them together. Like, this episode is so heartbreaking.
Oh god, yeah, it is.
Because you feel like she finally really feels something real. Like, so much of her character feels like just desperation not to be alone. And in this episode, you're like, actually maybe it's just desperation to actually be loved and you feel like she finally found it, and
Which,
it's just too bad.
It kind of, like, her first husband died young, clearly. Did he die? Was he killed? Did they ever say what it was?
Troy's dad?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't remember.
Like, was he killed in action, or was it just, like, some disease? But either way, it could be tough, if you have someone you really love, and then you lose them, and then it's just like, you maybe spend a long time drifting before you find someone who makes you feel that way again. You thought you never would, and of course it's David Ogden Stiers from a shitty planet of shitty people.
Well, that's alright. Lwaxana is...
Rogue being awful.
She's allowed to have as much rebound sex as she wants.
Well, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but it feels realistic,
Yeah.
That maybe she just kind of floated around with it. She was like, I'm never going to feel the way again I did as about Mr.
Troy.
Did we ever get his first name?
Achilles.
Really?
Fuck you.
No.
I thought that was funny.
Because Troy.
Oh my god. Right, I should have... Yeah.
This fucking monstrosity. I think this is in her room, or his room. I think this is just one of his robes.
Is the like a post fuck look?
I think so. But I'm hoping that this is just one of his, like, you know how there's always that look of, like, the woman in, like, the t-shirt and panties, but it's like the guy's oversized. I'm deciding that that's what this is. There's no way she owns this piece of clothing.
Unless it's super comfy. And she doesn't show it to anybody except Timothy because she knows it's not how she likes to present herself to the world.
That's true, because
Like-
we know she does that with Odo, too. She takes off the wig and is like, yeah, well, not everybody accepts me either, so... Yeah, maybe. Either way, I hate it. It just looks really dumpy. I mean, she's probably, like you said, it's probably super comfortable, but...
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're just in bed, you're not trying to...
Well,
also,
and in that way, it's super realistic.
Yeah. Ian Andrew Troy.
Yes, you're right, because that's what Troy named the child and the child after.
Yeah, Andrew, right? Or did you call him Ian?
I think it was Ian. I think it was Ian Andrew.
Yeah.
Helen of.
Thank you, Jake. The thing I also think is very interesting about the waking up the next morning look is it's the one time we see her without makeup.
Right.
And it's
without makeup. But yeah.
Well, yeah, without Lwaxana makeup. It's probably just, show,
TV,
show makeup.
TV makeup version of
Woke up
no
like
makeup.
this makeup.
Yeah.
Basically.
Also, Memory Alpha does not specify a cause of death, so I assume that means the
really?
show... They said it was sudden, but not specified, so...
Transporter
explosion.
accident.
Can't wait for us to get the prequel story about
No!
that. No, I won't.
Don't even joke!
I'm sorry.
Universe will hear you.
It's going to be in Picard
It's too late.
season 3.
Oh, gross, probably. And it's definitely a very vulnerable look.
Yeah.
Like you said, without the makeup and without all the
Well, and this is...
boning and shapewear and sparkles.
Yeah, and I haven't watched this one in a while, but I imagine this was probably their big kind of... where she's trying to convince him to just not give in to this idiot tradition for jerks.
Those jerks.
And then this is the final outfit, which feels, again, very, like, stately. But the cut of it actually makes me think of, like, I don't know, like, female warrior armor. Like, I feel like she's... like, this feels like a very protective look because she's going... Oh, no, wait, is that the... Just kidding. That's this one. This one feels that way. This one is sort of not. But it's also, again, understated, dark clothing, not her usual shine.
Yeah, I don't usually think of her in browns.
No.
She's got this great
That's,
turquoise
terrific.
belt piece
The
here
belt
in
is
the
great.
middle, which is great. And I really like whatever, like, this little... I don't even know what you... This is the real problem. I don't know shit for fashion.
It's like
I like these wings they put on her shoulders. Those are nice.
It's like they took the sleeve puffs and toned them way the fuck down.
It looks
Yeah.
almost Elizabethan to me.
Yes, you're right, it does.
Like
I wanna
she's-
say she's
like
got,
she's
like-
a nanny.
She needs a frilly collar or something.
We can see a little bit on the, against the legs where it looks like there's like a peplum kind of a thing going on there.
Yeah, kinda.
Oh yeah, the poof.
A little poof over on the skirt area.
Great earrings too.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it looks like
always.
pearls with like some kind of like flowers. And again, works perfectly with the outfit. She's getting the tones. This is the one I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, when she goes with him, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
feels like actually almost like samurai.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
does,
say
I get-
samurai
I get
or
that.
But like going into
Vulcan
battle,
or
and
something.
again, very dark,
She's a
Big-
protector.
Big buckle.
very stoic.
God, that episode. Good episode, but
So good.
Jesus.
Yeah, it tears your heart out.
Ugh.
And you can't see him, but she's holding his hand
Yeah,
over here.
yeah.
And cutting him out. All right, this is the cost of living when we spend an unfortunate amount of time with Alexander, but we look fabulous while doing it. We're like back to being. It's like we're dealing with our heartbreak by going absolutely batshit. She's got this rainbow-colored, sequined,
It looks like Christmas lights.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Exactly.
another Christmas outfit.
and then
It's,
she's wrapped in a like gold lame,
No, it was
like overdress.
They made a shirt out of Pulaski's sensor net dress from TOS.
Miranda Jones.
Thank you. I can remember her name in that one.
I love her. This is also the episode where she says she's engaged to that really boring man, right?
Oh, yeah. The guy that played
Frollo. Oh, did they set that up? Or is it the same episode?
Who are we talking about?
Does the guy show up in this one, or does he show up in a later one?
That's this one.
She gets married at the end of this. So she's having her, like, last hurrah.
That's right,
and pretending to, like, be helping Alexander, even though what a terrible idea. I, again, liked this. The reason why I took this still is because, again, we have this great eye makeup. She's got, like, this...
Very bold.
Green and red, pink situation going on, which, again, is just really awesome. Because you don't really get to see that much. The most colorful eye makeup we've seen up to this point was Dr. Spock, Mr. Spock in TOS. And that was just his eyes. So...
Oh,
hello, cleavage.
Excellent boob window.
We're back. We are gilded. We are wrapped in gold. She's got jewels. Again, like this beautiful sort of leafy, ivy-ish type of situation
like
going on.
I feel like this is...
gorgeous.
Shrek ripped this off for Fiona's dress. They just filled in the window.
Yeah, kind of. I could see that.
And this is also, I think, if not the first, one of the early... Obviously, Lwaxana wears wigs looks.
Oh, yeah.
This one's like a short reddish curly thing. It suits her.
Yeah, totally.
I really like the skirt on this one, too, because it feels very, like, bohemian, kind of, which really fits in with this episode. I don't know. I love it. She's fabulous. This is, like, one of my all-time favorite looks. This is, like, an albino supervillain. And that's very much my favorite look.
Now, is this the wedding dress, do we remember? I want to say it was supposed to be the wedding dress.
Which she then did not wear.
I feel like, because, like, especially from far off, where her face is a little more indistinct and the hair, I would maybe believe you if you said this was B. Arthur in the Star Wars Holiday Special. If I didn't know what B. Arthur wore in that. Like, it's just the hair, the wig is very B. Arthur. But the dress is very, like... It's sparkly silver sci-fi, but in, like, a not Star Trek way.
If I ever get married, this is what I'm wearing. Yeah, you're right. It feels like a Star Wars dress, like, definitely.
Yeah, or again, like, just 50s sci-fi. Or, I mean, the Cage, they had those sparkly away jackets.
Well, anyway, I love it. I love the super white hair. I love the dress.
I love the whole look. The little ass poof.
Oh, yeah. Again, very, would this have been Victorian or who?
No,
the
poof is more
Edwardian.
of a...
Who had the big ass bumps?
Was that Georgian?
Was it Georgian? I don't have any idea.
I think
Jane Austen times?
Yeah, Victorian and Georgian.
Is that Jane Austen times?
Yeah.
Jane Austen times.
No, Victorian is late 19th century. Jane Austen's early 19th. They were still kind of doing the hoop skirt thing at that point. The whole skirt was kind of like framed big, I think.
Well, anyway, to continue to talk
Dickens?
about Disney, it makes me think of the stepsisters' dresses in Cinderella. Because they had that big badunkadunk situation. This is like dirty, 30, flirty. I don't know how to feel about it. I just love it. There's so many different textures happening, so many different patterns. It's very avant-garde. I don't think I like it. But it's exciting and interesting.
A little too busy. It's like semi-leopard print up the top and then falling leaves underneath.
I don't think it's leopard print. I think
no, it's not actually leopard print, but
it's a mesh.
It gives a similar color scheme that sort of a dark brown and light brown sort of mottled thing.
Well, I think what it actually is it's like a see-through...
Oh, okay.
Like, this is her skin under there, and this is just like a fishnet.
Yeah, it's more like
tighter
fishnet.
knot type of stuff. Either way, though, I mean, it definitely shades of Lwaxana, like, trying to be... Like, the darker color feels more staid or something, but then it still just feels like an explosion of madness that only she could pull off. It's like she's trying to fit into what she thinks the new husband wants, but she's like, fuck you, though, I'm Lwaxana Troy.
God, that guy's the worst.
He sucks.
Yeah, the shape of it almost looks like she wrapped curtains around her body in a fun way.
Sound of Music style.
This screenshot, it kind of looks like she's having a medical issue.
Agreed, yeah.
I was going to say it's cut off where it is because we don't want to show Jean-Luc on his knees giving her the old...
We should tell the audience which photo we're looking at.
This is Lwaxana in her wedding attire. Her wedding attire.
Or lack thereof.
Well, this is, as is tradition, this is how the Beta Zeds do.
Betazoids.
Oh, God damn it, Betazoids.
That's my mistake, usually.
I've stopped correcting you because there's no point.
She figures there might still be hope of saving me. But yeah, she goes naked. She's got great shoulders. She's lovely. Good for you, Lwaxana. Fuck that guy.
Seriously.
Oh god, this episode. So this is the episode...
Dark
Lwaxana
Page.
Troy has horrible trauma about her daughter that died.
And again, they've got her in sort of a subdued brown outfit.
Yeah, she wears like a surprising amount of brown. Like, considering that when I think of Lwaxana Troy, I basically imagine her in like Joseph's great Technicolor dream coat. There's a lot of brown.
Well, that's how you know it's a serious Lwaxana episode.
Yeah,
Apparently.
she's gonna act the shit out of it. But she does still have some good accessories.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know what she's got going around her neck here. It's like some kind of garland. It's very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
She's always got that badass Lwaxana red lip. She's got some earrings happening that match her necklace perfectly. She's great. This dress is cool. I love the cut of the dress.
Yeah.
Even though the rest of it's drab. But the cut's great. It looks good. You feel like this is probably just like more like how her body looks instead of them being like, let's just throw a corset in here. They're just like, no, we're gonna pin you in at the waist and the rest is gonna go for it.
And the little like that's not a mandarin collar. What would you call that collar?
It's
It's
almost,
like a little like.
It's definitely in the realm of a mandarin collar,
Yeah.
but I don't know what the proper term would be.
And I like that there's like a kid element here because this look does strike me as being very like governess in some way. Like a really
Nehru
fancy
collar?
governess. Huh?
Maybe. Might be a Nehru collar.
Who knows?
Tangerine collar.
Delicious.
Oh, God, I got it. Damn it, Jake.
And then
Oh, the robe thing.
That's nice.
it feels like
I kind of want one.
It kind of feels like she's running for president. Like, I feel like if Hillary Clinton was cooler, she might have worn something
here
like
it looks
this.
like she's running for the bathroom.
Well, the good thing about the robe is she just slides it open and she sits, so it's
That's
actually
great.
good for emergency poop runs. But I really like this. Like, I would wear this too. I'm with you
Yeah,
on that.
like-
I really like it.
Yeah, no, it's
Like,
really good. Nice collar.
Gray is my favorite color, and she makes gray look colorful,
She does.
which is the magic of Lwaxana Troy.
It feels like she's bursting into song on the right panel. You know, like she's in the middle of singing the theme to That Girl or something.
Yeah, but we get to see
No, I mean the Mary Tyler Moore show. The
how-
theme to That Girl didn't have words.
well the dress, the robe or cloak or whatever you would call it moves.
Yeah, no, it's really a great
Like
piece
whoever
of
designed
tailoring.
it, like, A+.
Yeah.
You've won Project Runway.
I feel like getting to be the person that dresses Lwaxana Troy, again, aside from maybe Quark, has to be like the most exciting thing. Because you get to have so much fun. Everybody else wears the same shit all the time. Lwaxana Troy comes in and gets to be like a completely random and wild variable. And
She
I
might
love
have
that.
some of the only good civilian clothes in 90s Star Trek. Because a lot of the 90s Trek civilian outfits are just...
Well, it's because they're not trying to like mimic the style of the 90s. She's all over the
True.
map. She's a flapper, she's Edwardian, she's Georgian, she's Elizabethan, she's a bitch, she's a lover, a child, a mother, etc.
Oh, I think that's the same...
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
flamenco
That's that one we didn't
dress.
like.
The corset came back in Deep Space Nine.
It's a repeat.
And it looks like it's the same
Sleeves and
sleeves
everything.
and stuff too.
But it's
That
got
seems
the
unlike her.
amazing pink wig.
Yeah, the wig is where it's at, though.
the pink, I was gonna say the pink distracts from the bullshit.
Yeah, the wig. This might be my favorite wig of hers because it's so over the top cotton candy.
I love it.
And of course, she's introduced to Odo because someone has stolen her accent piece.
That's right.
Oh, gold pressed platinum tiara or a diadem or something.
I don't quite remember.
Is
Something.
this when she marries Kang?
No, that's later.
That's later.
No, this is the one where she gets stuck in the.
Oh, stuck in the elevator.
Yeah, I love this.
Like, tell us what it is.
So it's this great. It's like I'm not even sure. I don't even think it's skin toned. I think it's literally
Yeah,
just
It's
a
transparent.
mesh,
Yep.
transparent mesh top that has like artistically placed
And
like, it almost
strategically
looks
placed.
like it almost looks like waves of water. Again, like making her this like nature,
This
this
seems-
nymphy nature creature
See,
whom I
I
love.
get like almost like Vegas
Showgirl.
showgirl.
Oh, I get figure skater vibes.
Or
Figure
Yes,
skater.
that's
They
exactly
love
what it is.
They love that kind of stuff.
And again, we have another great wig.
Great wig.
Love the wig.
It's
Love
like tomato
the
sauce
orange.
red and it works.
It's really good for her. Well, and especially with the blue. The blue and the orange go really nicely together. They're both really bold colors.
They're
But you're right.
complementary.
That's exactly what it is.
You know what it
It's
is?
definitely like a figure skater type costume look.
She's wearing a shirt that suggests liquid to make Odo feel comfortable.
Ah.
Damn it.
That's pretty good. But anyway, I love that one. And I think this is the last one from that, or is this the...
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
I think they're about to get stuck in the elevator.
Yeah, that's the.
She might have
wig
one
she
more
takes
before she
off.
leaves. Yep,
Oh,
there it is.
oof.
So the thing with the red one is it's a fine dress, but it does just I feel like you could have gotten that off the rack.
It's very normal.
Any shop in the 90s.
It's shockingly normal.
Yeah, very just like... Again, that's what they do. When Lwaxana has to have kind of a serious scene, they scale her clothing way... But this is the most they've ever done. Because again, like, if you told me they got that from...
JCPenney's.
Or Saks or something. You know, they just went to Rodeo Drive and had somebody buy something.
Well, I wonder if it's to, like, sort of make the contrast between, like, the normalcy that she sort of projects, but then she, like, whips off her wig and is like, nope, I'm weird too. Like, I don't know if it's just meant to be, like, a juxtaposition or something.
Is she dressing down for Odo?
Yeah, she might
Could be. I mean, he'd be easily overwhelmed. She can tell immediately that he's, like, a novice.
He's wearing, like, this drab pajamas. So.
It also might have, just in a more practical sense, there could have been a lot of, like, because they had a fairly lengthy scene, they had to keep doing his makeup, like, just the realities of that sequence. Like, we're going to have to go back here and away and back a lot. Like, we don't want to put her in something really elaborate. Because they would have, you know, they'd have to...
heavy and hot.
Because they clearly couldn't just do this. It's not a lot of footage, but because they have to keep going back and making Odo a little more melted, you know, and that probably took hours. So it may have been over a course of a couple of days they had to do this scene.
Yeah,
so
for that matter, like, the costumer would also have to know, like, she has to be able to sit on the floor in this dress.
Yeah.
She has to be able to do a lot of, like,
and actually
moves, like moving in a way that she doesn't usually in dresses. She probably cannot sit down.
It also can't be mesh because she needs to contain a liquid in it.
There you go.
Well, she does that with her wig, doesn't
but
she?
also, I
no,
guess...
it's the dress.
Oh, is it?
But also, Odo, like, when he's being melty, they're like, we don't want to get his makeup on a bespoke thing we put together that was expensive. Let's just get something normal. Like, I feel like reality may have had a big part to play in this choice.
Well, whatever. The hair with the bright platinum hair with the bright red dress.
Oh, yeah,
great
it's so
contrast.
bright.
She's smoking. Lwaxana Troy's just a fucking smoke
I
show.
remember her from The Matrix.
Oh, the lady in the red dress.
This is amazing.
It's something.
The hat is very matronly.
I think this is from Fascination, isn't it? I think this is the second episode. I think the first one was Forsaken, and I think this one is Fascination. And the reason why I think that is because I remember thinking, oh, it's like a fascinator, fascination. So
again, it feels kind of like they were like, let's take a medieval or Edwardian kind of look and then update it and make it all future-y.
Yeah, because you've seen guys in that hat with like a with like a vest and like a you're
kind
right.
of a robe thing.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it.
Yeah, this looks like Marco Polo or something.
You know, it's kind of... I like the flower brooch.
The flower brooch,
The brooch
is
is
great.
nice.
The
And back to the flower motif.
The colors of the coat and hat. I love the colors always because they're so jewel toned.
Yeah.
And so bright. But
Cool.
the shape is not my favorite shape for her.
I do like the pointy shoulders.
Mm.
I will say that.
Fun
But I
earrings
just-
as always.
Yeah, it goes with the brooch. She's a master accessorizer.
Oh,
Oh, everything about this I don't like.
I do
feel
not like that wig.
I feel like the wig makes her look like a Lhasa Apso or something. Is that the one I mean?
I think that might be or like a Yorkie or...
You know what? It looks like a wig they stole from, like, one of the Spice Girls.
See, what's
Yeah,
funny,
Sexy
though, is that,
Spice's
like,
wig.
she actually does look like Marina Sirtis looks today. Like, in terms of the straighter hair, just she looks like Marina Sirtis in this picture to me.
Marina's hair is better.
It's all
Well,
that,
yes.
It's all that Betazoid psychic energy shit. The outfit is also kind of weird. It's almost like an underbust pair of
Yeah,
overalls.
it's like a potato sack quality to it.
Like-
It's just not good.
If the whole shirt was just that shirt, or
If they didn't wrap around the boobs
Yes.
in a weird framing way,
it would be
I would
way
like
better.
it better.
and
it's
that's
the
the
framing.
thing too, is it just looks like they took like a scarf and like twisted it up and
Yeah.
like glued it on.
It does look like that.
I just nah.
But honestly, the main offender here is that wig. That was
Oh, the wig's
That is
terrible.
rough.
And they add a little flower hairpin in there just to really.
Yeah, but again, it's like,
Ugh.
ooh, no.
It's just poorly styled.
It
Very.
looks like something Frankenstein would wear. Like it's not a good wig. I don't like it.
Yeah, the wigmonger screwed up this time.
Yeah,
They've been doing good up till this
Wigmonger.
point.
Wigmonger. All right, and then last but not least, and definitely her most matronly looking looks.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like
the Muse.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah, this is the most like.
This is the most Edwardian.
Well, and it
we
makes
have.
sense though. It's hard to find good maternity wear, even if
Yeah,
you're
no,
Lwaxana
it's-
Troy. You know.
Good color though again.
Yeah, good color, and like you said, very matron. Well, I said, I guess, very matronly cut. Even the neck is high. It's
She's done high necks before and made them sexy, though.
well, obviously she's not sexy now, Ames. She's fat. I'm just kidding.
She's full of a baby.
Yeah, well, that's actually the real problem.
Who I hope we meet in some other Star Trek.
Do you? Really?
No, god damn it! Now it's gonna show up in Lower Decks.
Yeah, not Lower Decks. I kind of want it in something good.
You're
Well, yes,
in a
but-
good
It
show.
would still be too little because this is happening.
Yeah, Lower Decks is what? This 80s,
No.
70s.
Well, it was like they did a spoiler alert. They did a DS9 crossover episode that was only shortly after.
Okay, so it's not even that. Okay, so it's like right after like
Yeah,
maybe not Insurrection.
Nemesis.
Nemesis, thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, because we meet Riker on the Titan.
Yeah, okay, so it's alright. Yeah, it'd still be too young, so
It could show up in Picard season 3.
I don't know.
Oh God.
Hopefully not.
We'll see how that goes. God, what way will they find to wreck it?
I like the
We got
colors
a,
on
got
this
a
one.
Goldie dress.
This one strikes me almost as being like snakeskin-esque, which makes me not like it.
I can kind of see that, yeah.
But again, like, it's definitely still got your Lwaxana flair. It's shiny,
She's feeling a bit more confident today than she was in the day of the purple dress.
clearly.
What's happening with those shoulders? Are they coming to a little point or?
I know it doesn't look like
It's
they
hard
look
to
pretty
tell.
normal. There may be a little pointed,
There's
but
some
not,
structure there, but not
like
loads.
they're not vertical. They're just
Yeah, like I think they've added some shape, but they haven't added elevation.
not a lot of height. No, and I love the picture of her and Odo. I like had to use this one because I ship her and Odo. I know it would never work, but I do
It
love
wouldn't,
it.
but it makes sense.
This one is really weird. Like, I feel like I want to like it, but I feel like the necklace that she pairs with this, I don't like. We've got these sort of multicolored leaves, like, cascading down, like, this almost nude, like, taupey colored fabric. And I like the dress. I actually think it does a good job of sort of hiding the pregnancy in a way. Like, it doesn't look as... I mean, like, you can tell there's something going on, but if you didn't know, you might not realize.
I think the issue is it is a little too close to her skin tone.
Yeah.
So it's just like there's not enough contrast.
My problem with this necklace is it feels like it's straight out of, like, what we think African tribal jewelry looks like, and I feel like it is weird and then doesn't fit the look.
Oh, see, I thought it looked like something like it's like made of child toys.
That's
It looks
that's
like the
also
kind of
possible.
Colorful blocks that kids play with, and like maybe what kid would make Alexander?
Oh,
for
even
instance,
or
would
even
make it
just
for her.
like clay. We know Alexandra likes clay. You could almost make these from clay beads. There's just like I don't know. There's a colonized peoples aspect to the look of it that I just kind of feel is weird with the rest of the thing. I just feel weird about it. I don't know, but I do like the dress, and I really like the leaves. Oh, and the wedding dress. Wow, it's bad, but you can't really blame her.
But yeah, it's from some other culture.
And she makes it look pretty good.
She's doing her best.
Yeah, I mean, she's wrapped in a sparkly surgery sheet, and they gave her a veil. But she rocks it.
Yeah, as far as veils go, I think the structure of the veil is interesting in that it just kind of like seems to float over her face
It looks like
magically.
and from here, like, when it's lit from the front with this little ball thing, it looks like she's got a kite. She looks like Kite Man.
I think maybe they
Like
pinned
she's gonna fly into the wedding.
They maybe
Yay.
pinned it into her hair, just above the ear,
Oh,
maybe.
I bet that's what they did. Yeah.
Well, it still looks like a kite.
Oh, yes.
Whatever they did, I think it looks like a kite, but I like it. I like it. I don't love it, but again, you can't blame this one on her. It's the traditional wear. And then the final time, she looks shit-faced in this picture, but this is like our final time seeing Lwaxana. Well, so far that I know of. I don't think we ever see her again, which is sad. But this is a fun... This is another sort of prom dressy look, I feel like, especially because of the shawl.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
it's the shawl that makes it, and like the beadwork at the bosom.
Yep.
It just feels very prom-y because she's also got her updo. But
There's also sort of a nice night out in the 1960s thing about that shawl.
that's true. Would they have done a turban in the 60s, or was it the 70s that they were doing
They would
the
have
turban
done that
like
sometime in the 60s, yeah.
I feel like if we would have got a turban, this would have been really cool. She could have nailed it. But yeah, anyway, not my favorite, but it's like she's back. She gave birth. No, she's leaving to give
Yeah,
birth. She
she
actually hasn't done it yet. But maybe it's just these shots. I feel like, again, it's not
I think
as
that she's
obvious.
leaned forward.
That's true. And this is her, like, saying her breaking up with Odo dress. Like, you don't really love me. You just love stability. I'm gonna go have my baby.
You're gonna go marry justice and order.
And you'll live happily ever after. And I'm stupid, so I didn't do, like, a every look together
That's
at the
fine.
end thing. But does anybody have any favorites? Or do you want me to just, like...
There've been so many.
I think least favorite is probably that funky orange one.
Yeah, I'll go with
That one?
No,
the dog
the,
hair
the one with
wig.
the bad
wig.
wig. Yeah.
That's probably my least favorite wig.
Yeah,
Bad
I don't love
wig.
that wig. I think...
Oh, the blue one's great. Oh, no, gray. Gray's my favorite. Gray robe is my favorite, because I
Alright.
want one.
I also love the gray robe. For me, it would be... I really don't like that one either. I thought about it a lot, and I just think so many of them are so good. Actually, I think this one might be my least favorite. I think this weird floral
Flamenco.
flamenco
Beaded corset.
beaded
thing.
corset,
Yep.
uncomfortable armpit chafing. I just
That's a bad one, too.
And I think the pink wig, if we're going by wigs, is my favorite wig. Big time favorite wig. But I really kind of love, again, I love this, like,
The overall.
space wedding, albino villain, tropey look of, like, I have white hair and white everything else. So I think that's probably my fave. Any thoughts from you guys? You said you didn't like
I didn't like the orange one with the bad wig. I don't know if I have a favorite, though, because there's a lot of good ones in there.
This one definitely gets honorable mention
That's-
from me.
that's
I
pretty
love the
nice.
color. I love the, like, again, the sort of, like, border, the gold border around her neck and around the décolletage.
This is the green one from the Alexander episode, folks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like emerald green. It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Well, anyway.
Scroll back a little. A couple more.
I'm trying to like her Christmas look.
Maybe the dress she wears to that dinner with the Ferengi before she's
That
kidnapped.
one's nice. That one's a good one.
That one is a good one. The dinner one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that is a good
That
one.
one's pretty good. Yeah, she got a lot I like. If I had more time to think about it, I could probably give you a favorite, but
Well, maybe you'll put it in the blog post.
Yeah, if you want to send me a favorite. Oh, I love that one too. The silver one and her second appearance. Ugh, it's all good. That back.
And the open back one with the
The
red.
thing is, from the front, it's almost like, I know that you can't be super low in the front and super low in the
you
back.
can't. That's
Because
too
you
much.
gotta be dignified. But I feel like the front is so frumpy and the back is so sexy that it just feels like it doesn't...
We always that's how she gets you. She's like, oh yeah, she's very staid and
Business in the front,
business-like. And then it's like,
party
oh,
in
actually,
the back.
There it
Yeah,
is.
it's
Also,
like
if
a
there's
mullet
any
of outfits.
person who would disagree that you can't be low cut in both the front and the back, it's Gene Roddenberry.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it was Lwaxana Troy, because I feel like she also would feel the same.
No, you can't. Here's the thing. You can't give the whole show at once. It's one or the other. You gotta earn the whole show.
Wow.
I don't know what I mean by that. Quick Aim's cover for me, fucking up by getting us out of here.
Quick Aims, Jake us
Okay.
away.
Well, thank you for that. Again, yeah, if you want to see all the pictures of Lwaxana Troy looking fucking fine, check out our Tumblr. As you should, because she looks fucking fine.
Always.
That's over at sshbpodcast.com. Apparently Tumblr's coming back a little bit.
Yeah,
they're
they're letting
allowing-
the porn come back.
They're allowing, light nudity, so...
Well, we got Lwaxana's back. That's our contribution.
They see Elon destroying Twitter and they're like, now's our chance.
Just, we're
Come back
gonna...
to us.
To lure people in, we're gonna just have hashtag tits and hashtag schlong on all of our blog posts.
Yikes.
Kids still say schlong, right?
I think it's a valid strategy, though. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Yeah, probably smart on their part. We'll see how it goes, but we're there regardless. So check out all of our great blogtivities over there.
Check out the tits and schlongs.
Yikes. Check out the tits and schlongs next week on Voyager. Because we're going to be continuing through season 5. Our next week's episodes are going to be episodes Timeless and Infinite Regress. See how they're going to do next week. It'll be a good time.
Ooh.
Oh, timeless.
Yeah?
I like that one.
Oh, good. We'll have an episode Jake likes next week. It'll be great. That'll be over on SoundCloud or wherever you get your podcast. We're on all of them. We're also on Facebook and Twitter for now until we decide Twitter's not worth it anymore. Fuck Elon.
Well, for $8 a month, we can be verified.
Yeah. Why? Wow.
Well,
the worst
the reason
ideas.
why is because it costs like $1 billion a year to run Twitter, but they only make about $650 million a year, so it's a big money suck, that's why. Because running Twitter is too expensive, and it's not worth it, and it's
Probably
stupid.
slash some C-suite salaries, but...
Nope, instead he's just gonna fire everybody.
Everything's so smart.
Yep.
Including us, so yes, definitely hang out with us next week. We'll be back. Until then, this has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
This has been Jake.
And this is always Boothby.
You're not Boothby. You're species 8479. No, that's not right. 8472.
Close enough!
One of them.
86753.